Hello, everyone. How's it going? We are back. Good critic, bad critic, and we got our two lovely Muppets alongside the ultimate Muppet in the middle. We got Captain Quintano, who is back, and we have the filthy animal himself, Craig, who. What were you telling me about the filthy animal? Did it have to do with the camels in this movie?
I apparently am a camel.
You are a camel. That is a filthy
Interesting.
animal. But they're sweet. They're sweethearts.
And they're fast.
Have you seen the mouths? Wow.
I try not to.
They have. There's something going on in those mouths. It's quite extraordinary. But
Yeah.
that is not what we're here for. We are here for.
Yeah. So we are. We have just got done watching The Mummy from 1999, which was a fun watch. I have only my experience with The Mummy is I had only watched it from beginning to end maybe twice. I had the sequel to The Mummy. What was it? The Mummy Returns.
The Mummy Returns. Yeah.
Yeah, I had actually seen that a lot more. I've probably seen that one about 10 times.
It's a fun one too.
Yeah, I had fun watching that one. So I was more familiar with that one than the original. But Captain Quintano here this was his pick for the week. And this is one of his favorites. You want to tell us your experience, a little bit about your experience with this one?
Yeah. So basically, I guess growing up, I was at my grandma's house, real young. I must have been like maybe, I don't know, 5, something like that. But apparently, my grandma just decided to throw on the Mummy DVD for me. And the story goes is that I proceeded to ask her to replay it a million times. And now leading all the way into adulthood, I've just always had a huge love for the film. My first crush was Rachel Weisz, and that gets carried with you. But recently bought my nephew to see it for its 25th anniversary or 20th anniversary, whatever it was. But we went to theaters for his first scary movie. And we saw it, and I just have a huge love for the film. You know, Brendan Fraser in his prime. It's just a blast. The character chemistry, all of it's so much fun.
It is definitely a fun movie. That's for sure. I never saw it when it originally came out, even though I'm old enough to have done that, but I never originally saw it when it originally came out. Craig, how many times have you seen this movie? And he fucks off. Well, I guess he hated it. That's his.
He's panicking right now. You know that.
I don't know what happened to Craig because he didn't just like turn his camera off. It like totally left.
He's gone. Yeah.
So I'm gonna have to send him a link to rejoin here.
That's hysterical.
That is. It's actually really funny.
Because
you saw him open his mouth.
Yeah.
You saw him open his mouth, and then he's just gone. There he is. Okay. There he is. That's really funny.
What
happened?
I want to watch that back. I was trying to just make that a single window and close all the rest of the browser down.
Oh, okay. You fucked up. I've done it before.
But, hang on. What was about my mouth?
Because I was like, Craig, how many times have you seen this movie? And you literally went,
I was about to answer
and then it cut out. It was actually awesome. It was the perfect time.
I went to see this at the cinema on my own. I went through a phase where I just got the cinema on my own because I couldn't, like, all my friends were going, like, their parents would take them shopping on Saturday, blah, blah, blah. And I just I had a paper route, go on my own, get my money, and I went to see this, and it was a fucking blast. I fucking love this film. I went to see it at the cinema. Absolutely loved it. It's I can't remember what era it's called, but it's what like George Lucas based Star Wars on. So it's like the rompy 50s like cartoon comic book characters that he based his film on, like his films on. And
okay.
It's just one of those. It's a romp. It's a fucking romp. Spoilers. I like it.
you actually mentioned that I have here because usually before I go into these, I do a brief Wikipedia brush up on because I like to know like little details of things without diving too far into it. But apparently, this story is based on a 1932 film called The Mummy as well, which I didn't know anything about. So
There had to be an original Mummy. I've
Yeah,
never
yeah.
seen it. I wonder if it was actually decent.
Was that the like original? Who did the new Mummy? The Dark Universe that fell to shake off with
Tom Cruise and
yeah.
oh, I didn't even watch that.
It was supposed to be part of that because they owned the rights to the Mummy, the Wolfman.
it was Universal, yeah.
Universe,
Creature of the Black Lagoon, Dracula.
Yeah, all
yeah.
those.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is thankfully this is so different.
Yeah, yeah. I have no idea what the 1932 film is like.
It's literally
probably. Well, we're going to dive into The Mummy from 1999, the last year where, or one of the last years when America's confidence was at its highest.
Mm-hmm.
Before we got reality checked a couple of years later. Yeah, it's anything like have you noticed that the films like prior to 2001, especially American films, they're all like, you know, so very like pro
like showing that American power.
Yeah. And then once 9/11 hits, from then on it just gets grimmer and grimmer and grimmer.
Oh yeah.
In the film world, man. It's
weird.
I've never thought about that, but that's a great point. That's interesting.
It is, but I also think 1999 was a great peak. Look at the films that came out in that year. You know, like
that's the same year the Matrix came out, right?
Mm-hmm.
The Matrix. Yep. The Matrix. God, my mind's going blank. Thankfully.
I do know the Star Wars: The Phantom Menace came out that year.
Yeah, that came out that year.
Which may not be the greatest movie in the world, according to some, but you can't deny the major influence that the revolutionary special effects it had.
Yeah.
On the film industry.
Oh no, I mean,
crazy.
The Last Skywalker is the best I've ever made, obviously.
Okay, this time I might actually manually kick you out of here because that's absolute blasphemy. Well, I didn't do it last time.
Blasphemy.
It's blasphemous.
He's joking, right?
He's fucking with me. He's just trying to get me worked up. Because the last I've only seen I've only seen 5 minutes of the what is it? The Rise of Skywalker. See, I can't even remember what it's called.
It's the last.
I've seen
Force Awakens, the Rise of Skywalker, I think.
Yeah, Rise of Skywalker. I saw the first 5 minutes and turned it off.
Wow, you're lucky.
It was the first Star Wars movie that I didn't go to the theater to see.
There's actually a reference on this film that is to that film. I'm going to bring it up.
Was it the Scream?
No, it involves four-legged animals.
Okay. Well, I haven't seen the movie, so I'm not going to get the reference.
No, I'm looking at Quentin. But I'll bring it up.
What movie?
The last.
Okay. I thought you were saying there was a reference to it in The Mummy about Star Wars. So I was like, did I miss something?
No. No. So reverse.
Got you.
Sorry.
All right. So, The Mummy, 1999, directed by Stephen Sommers, screenplay by Stephen Sommers. Quentin, what are the other films you said before the
Van
stream
Helsing,
started?
Which is huge.
Okay.
Because that's like another one of my guilty pleasure movies that I love, but it's miles away from it being a perfect or even great movie, but it's just so
There's a lot of reasons to like that one.
It's so much fun.
A lot of reasons.
Yes. What was the other one that you mentioned that this guy did? There was one more that was noteworthy. Oh, Catch Me If You Can.
Yes.
Oh,
that's it.
Which is an incredible movie.
Yeah. I like that movie. Yeah. So we got a cast here. Brendan Fraser as Rick O'Connell. And then we got the lovely Rachel Weisz as Evelyn Carnahan. John Hannah as her brother Jonathan Carnahan. Arnold Vosloo as Imhotep. He plays a pretty good villain here.
Mm-hmm.
Kevin J. O'Connor as Benny. Jonathan Hyde as Dr. Alan Chamberlain. Oded Fair as Ardeth Bey. And who's also... He plays the leader of the Pharaoh Guard. Or whatever it is. We also have Eric Avari.
The Magi.
Who plays Dr. Terrence Bey. Patricia Velasquez as Anaxu Namun.
Anaxanamun.
Anaxu Namun. Yes, okay. And then the last cast I wrote down before I gave up on everybody else, and I had to put him down. My boy, Omid Jalili.
Jalili. If you didn't say him, I was gonna kick your ass, man.
I saw you were perking up in your chair. You were like, he better say him.
Yeah, Omid Jalili. Yeah,
I love him.
And he's on the first Gladiator. He sells queer giraffes.
He
sells queer giraffes.
He sells queer giraffes?
Remember the first Gladiator movie, the guy that sells Proximo, Maximus, and the other slaves? It's that Middle Eastern looking guy.
Yeah.
And he's like, this is your most fortunate day. And the guy grabs his nuts and is like, those giraffes you sold me.
They're gay, yeah.
Yeah. The guy who gets his nuts grabbed is Omid Jalili. Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
That's too funny.
He's a very good British stand-up comedian.
He's a stand-up. Yeah, he's a stand-up comedian.
I'll definitely have to check him out.
And actor. He's really freaking great.
He always turns up in these big movies as like a small supporting role. Yeah.
He's basically the Iranian Richard Ayoade.
Yeah, definitely. So we got... So that's the cast I got listed here. We also got cinematography by Adrian Biddle. Music by Jerry Goldsmith. And Quentin, I know you like mentioning the music credits.
Oh, yeah.
So if you don't know who this guy is, he also did 5 Star Trek films. He did Alien, which is amazing. That creepy Alien soundtrack. Ooh. Mm-hmm. Ooh. He did Gremlins, Total Recall, Air Force One.
Total Recall?
Yeah, Basic Instinct.
Gremlins and Total Recall is just on that alone. Jesus
I think I've only seen one scene from Basic Instinct. Just one.
We all know. We
all know which one you're talking about. It's probably the most paused scene in movie history.
Easily.
Yeah. He also did Mulan and L.A. Confidential. There's others on there, but those were the ones that I pointed out.
Good.
Well, this is one of the first movies that I was fell in love with the music, just that Egyptian style of music. Just, I feel like it teleported you straight to Egypt. It was so good.
Yeah. One thing I like about this trio that we have here is that we appreciate film scores more than most. So
can't have a great film without a good.
It brings. I will bring this to you. I know Quentin will appreciate it. Not sure about Boomer. At the end of Return of the King, when he says, "My friends, you bow to no one." If there is no score, it's nice. When the Shire music comes in, oh my God, you're crying your eyes out.
We had the Shire music playing at my wedding by a violinist. It was like a quadruple.
Did you really?
Yeah. Oh yeah, dude.
That makes me mad I missed your wedding.
Yeah. Too bad you were having a kid. Gosh.
I know. I'm in the hospital. She's all fucking bloody and it's
Jesus.
Dude, she was a buddy.
I had a good excuse. Sorry.
Dude, that was the only excuse I would have taken.
Brian, you had a football game on and you had the baseball game on your phone.
I did. As I remember the score of the Orioles game. It was tied 3-3 as my child was coming out.
Yeah, I mean, that sounds a hell of a lot better than watching a live birth.
I'm next to her going, "Hey, can you keep it down? The fucking game's on." No, I mean, I just remember because it was Sunday and both the Buccaneers and the Orioles were playing.
It was a Sunday, yeah, because I was talking to you all night, yeah. Anyway,
so
moving on.
This is distributed by Universal Pictures, and this film was released in theaters May 7th, 1999. The running time of the film is 125 minutes. The budget is $80 million. The box office in returns was $417.4 million.
That's right up there with the Batman.
This was another massive hit.
This was a smash.
I have some
Brendan
release notes
Fraser in his
here.
prime. How could you not?
Yeah, I have some release notes here. Enthusiasm for the film was apparently low, but Universal took out a television spot for the Super Bowl that cost 1.6 million dollars, and producers were also 1.6 million dollars for the time. That's
Yeah, now it's ridiculous.
now it's like
to get-
10 million. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say that's.
And meanwhile, income salaries for the middle class is saved right about the same.
Mhm.
But that's a subject for another day.
Let's not talk about that.
We got
Yeah.
make a whole different podcast for that.
We do. Producers were also concerned that the imminent release of The Phantom Menace, which also was coming out that year, would hurt the film's prospects, so they moved up the date from the 21st of May to the 7th, and the film received mixed reviews upon release. So imagine that you were about to compete with The Phantom Menace, so I think it was a good move to move it up 2 weeks, definitely.
100%.
Yeah, you just don't have that collision. Jeez, no.
Here's another release notes. This is about home media. The Mummy sold 7 million units on VHS.
That's wild.
Wow.
That's a lot.
And
That's
1 million,
a lot.
and it sold 1 million on DVD, which this was
Yeah,
like
it would.
DVD in
Yeah.
its infancy right here.
Yeah, just when it's coming out.
So this makes
That's a shit ton of money.
yeah. So this makes it. It was the year's best VHS sales and second best DVD sale behind. Craig, you want to take a guess?
What? Phantom Menace?
The Matrix.
Oh,
Of course. Yes, of course.
The Matrix is
Yeah.
one of those movies that you can rewatch 1,000 times, you know?
Yeah, and listen to this staggering. In total, Universal Studios grossed $1 billion in home video sales. That is
My
insanity. Ugh.
That is, do you know what? Justified. I'm going to say justified.
You might be right.
This film is a gem. It's far from perfect. It's a gem.
All right,
It is
you
a
guys
gem.
ready to dive into the plot here a little bit?
Let's do it.
All right,
So
here we
see what this
go.
film's about.
Let's dive into the film here. We're going to start off. The Universal logo appears with creepy music. It turns into a sun on top of the Great Pyramid of Giza. Pan down into a one of those pharaoh statue thingies, and we are in ancient Egypt, baby. Wide CGI shots of the glory of Egypt.
It's the Sphinx. It's the Sphinx.
Is it the Sphinx?
Yeah,
I wasn't completely sure because it was all painted and it looked in proportion.
And
Yeah.
yeah, right. Only
It's a
time we've
Sphinx.
seen it is broken down, crumbling, and thousands of years
No
later.
nose.
Well, the Phoenix, I think today, its head is much smaller than its body.
Interesting.
And
It
I think
is.
that's
It is.
some
It's
people
an
have a
obelisk.
theory. Yeah, some people have a theory that
It's 10,000 years old.
it used to originally be a lion's head,
Yes,
and
I have watched those
some
videos.
pharaoh was like, "Well, fuck that! I want my head on it." So they chiseled down the lion's head into his head.
That
At
one
some
I haven't
point.
heard. I've heard it's.
There's also theories
yeah,
saying that
it's
it's much, much older,
older.
than
Yeah,
everyone
it's-
originally thought. And then that whole
the
thing
bottom of
about
the
it being a
obelisk.
lion was, I guess 1,000 years later or whatever is when they changed it to the pharaoh.
What I've heard is there's showing of weathering, and the last time there was like a major flood was 10,000 years before they thought it was made.
Yep.
But most people, because I actually did look this up, most people think, yeah, it was built around the same time as the pyramids. If you're not conspiracy diving, it was built around the same time as the pyramids, so it would just be a sphinx, which is for the deity to protect the pyramids, which are going to be the graves for the pharaohs.
Yeah, Egypt is
Is my
probably Egypt is probably the biggest mystery
Yeah.
in human civilization, man. We don't know jack about it.
It was
We
the
really don't.
aliens.
That's making me think of my favorite film that involves ancient Egypt, and of course, no, that's I'm talking about a movie.
Oh no, just saying ancient aliens.
Stargate. I
Stargate.
love
Oh god.
Have you? Wait a minute, because I think eventually I wanted to get to this somewhere in there. Quentin, have you seen Stargate?
No,
He's
I
not.
just looked it up right here.
Oh, you
talking about-
motherfucker.
I have not seen Stargate. Movie or show?
Oh, you motherfucker, the movie.
I have not seen it.
Okay, well, we can't do two reviews of a movie that deals with ancient Egypt back to back, but I think sometime next month or
It's
2
a-
months from now,
it's
we
a-
got to do
it's a-
Stargate.
I've never even heard
It's
of
on
it,
the
so
list.
I'm down.
Okay, do you have to? Yeah, okay.
I'm game.
That's
on the list.
Quentin has to see it then. They made it. They spawned an entire franchise out of that fucking.
Oh, well, it's like Stargate Galactica or something.
Yeah, they had a whole sci-fi show about it.
Yeah.
I never watched any of the shows, but the original movie, I fucking love that movie.
Exactly the same. Yeah, didn't watch the shows, didn't care. I was happy with the
Yeah,
film.
but the shows have a large fan base.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's
Yeah.
Very
pretty
large fan
pretty,
base.
pretty nicely from what I just looked up. It's got great reviews. The show.
Yeah. All right, so let's get on with the movie here. So we're in it. We got wide CGI shots of ancient Egypt here. There's narration. Apparently, the narration lets us know that this is Thebes, home of Imhotep, the pharaoh's high priest, keeper of the dead. This character is also played by Arnold Vosloo. So, and then the next shot here, I wrote "Holy Woman" with 3 exclamation points, and in walks in Patricia Velasquez as Anaxunamun in a very revealing skin tight Egyptian garb here, and I just wrote "Wow."
I'm pretty sure it's just
Wow.
body paint.
What
Is it? Nah.
Is it?
It
No,
can't-
there's something going on. I was going to say that. What is going on there? You can't
No.
see anything, but
There's too
It
much
doesn't-
jiggling going on just for it to be body paint. Trust me, I looked.
May have replayed it a few 30 times or so.
Oh, I think I replayed that 5 times.
I want to just say this. I think Anaxunamun was Tutankhamun's mother. She's a mother or wife. Only 1,000 years later than Imhotep. So that's the one thing for historical accuracy. And I know Brian, I know you love that shit.
Yeah, but actually, Egypt is the one I'm iffy on when it comes to ancient history.
Yeah, it's like 1,000.
I know like a
years later.
little bit, but like very little. And then like if you go further east, like Chinese ancient history, I know nothing. So
It's
very
also
rich.
just got a crap ton of history. Like, I mean, obviously Rome and Italy being that you can dive into and never know all of it, but Egypt's just so old, man.
yeah.
It's also so less documented. But no,
Yeah.
Imhotep was 1,000 years previous to this.
Okay.
It's
Interesting.
not important because it's a made-up story. But
It definitely isn't important. You know why? Because I can't stop staring at Patricia Velasquez in this thing. I wrote this scene was probably paused a lot back in the day. I mean, she looks good.
I was
She's
saying it
gorgeous.
for racial Weisz.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, I mean, I get it,
That's
but-
bread and butter, but she's also
Yeah.
got like that innocent look about her, Rachel, and you fall in love. Like once again, first crush I've ever had in my life.
Mhm.
But as far as Patricia,
Oh
Yeah.
goddamn! No, she's beautiful. She is
Mhm.
beautiful, and she says that well. But goddamn, like, what is it with these? All the films are done really hot young women, and the fucking ugly old dudes that they're with. It is. Oh god, that guy comes in. Who has touched you?
Imhotep was kind of ripped. Oh, you're talking about the old guy, the Pharaoh guy.
The pharaoh
Yeah.
with the.
Yeah, I mean, he's got money and power. That's the way of the world, baby.
He's the fucking pharaoh. He can do what
He's
he
the fucking
wants.
Pharaoh. If he picks you
Until
out of
they
the
start,
crowd, he's gonna take- if he wants you,
Yeah, but
he'll
he's
take
not.
you.
He hasn't got a Mercedes-Benz chariot though. He's rolling around in.
It's made of solid gold.
No, he's got everything except spells, which is the reason why he and
Yeah.
what ends up happening to him happens later on. But
Well,
we got
spells, and he also doesn't have good bodyguards, but we'll get to that.
yeah.
Oh god, I've got notes about that.
Yeah. So Anak is the pharaoh's mistress, and no other man is allowed to touch her. And I can see why he made that decree. Very pretty palace. I keep writing. I can't take my eyes off her. She's Looking good. Anak then goes to Imhotep, and they kiss. So Imhotep is committing a very serious crime here because he's having an affair with the pharaoh's mistress here. A bunch of guys who look to be painted gold shut the doors to the palace. But wait! The pharaoh stops them. He enters. He looks pissed. The pharaoh walks up to Anak, stroking a cat. Yeah, and I wrote, yeah, you stroke that cat, girl.
Stroke it.
Imhotep appears and takes the pet that pussy. Imhotep appears and takes the pharaoh's sword. Then Anak puts her sword in the pharaoh's back. Imhotep then finishes the pharaoh off. Looks like we got a major coup going on here. So the pharaoh's dead. The guys in gold, and I wrote the guys in gold do fuck all to help him. But I didn't realize that they were not allied with him at first.
Yeah,
they are
like
jobbers. They are absolute jobbers. They just stood there painting gold. They look like a Fanta advert in the UK, but painted gold instead of orange. They're just fat guys. Just
that was the Egyptian version of the Blue Man Group, but it was just gold.
Yeah, exactly that.
I was thinking that.
Gold version.
I actually thought about writing that down, and I was like, nah, forget it. And then here's Captain Quintano at the save.
Yeah, funny. Fat man version of that, and there's like 6 of them, 3 on each side, pushing these other guys there, and he just pushes them through. How strong is this guy? But then all this.
Well, they have to stop because it's the pharaoh. They can't.
He rubs around.
Yeah, wow, some great.
Dude, if you're gonna do anything,
probably gives great massages, you know.
Well, if he does anything, look, I'm not.
He's gonna give her a deep tissue massage soon.
There he is.
Yeah, I would be doing it over an arm though. God damn.
So we got multiple guys start breaking through the massive doors, and when they walk in, they have on the black Egyptian headdress, and the guy I wrote the guy in the middle is swaying like it's a rap video. Did you see him swaying it? So he's ready to throw down. He has like his sword, and he's just like bobbing back and forth, like
yes, very aggressively. The eye contact was crazy.
Yeah. So he was ready. The other ones were just like walking in like badass. That guy's like.
It was hard to pay attention to anyone else but him in that shot.
Yeah. By the way, do any of you guys know the name of what those curved swords are? I used to know.
Starts with an S, right?
Scaber.
No,
Scaber?
I don't think so. Curved.
Some of the guys in Game of Thrones wield those. The Dothraki guys.
Yeah, like sickle is a small version of it, but sure it's escape.
It's I can't pronounce this. It's spelled Khoppesh.
That sounds Indian.
That sounds right, actually, Quentin.
No,
you're right. I don't know how to say that.
It's the most feared Egyptian weapon of the New Kingdom. Was a carved sword called a kapeshish. I can't wait to get corrected on that.
It's got to be wrong.
Kapeshish.
Right. I'm totally wrong.
I don't know. Your guess is good as mine on how to say that one. But I do remember those swords. But anyway, the gold guys take Imhotep away to safety, but Anak is surrounded by the guys in black headdresses. She says, remember before, I guess I should preface this by saying I was watching it and I was struggling to figure out how to get the subtitles on before I got my notes. I wrote the notes. So I just wrote down, Anak says something hot, and then she takes her sword and thrusts it into her stomach. That's what I wrote. She says something hot, kills herself.
Yeah.
Imhotep watches from behind one of the gold curtains. Yeah. Fade to riders in the desert in chariots. Apparently, Imhotep took Anak's body to the city of the dead, ancient burial site for the pharaohs and the wealthy of Egypt. Aman is then on a slab as Imhotep does a burial ritual for her with the gold guys. There's a pool of black water that starts forming into a foggy blob that then straddles Anak and then goes into her body. She comes back to life and has a look on her face like, why the fuck did you bring me back? She's like, what did you do?
Did any of you two see the film The Haunting? It was a remake in 1999. And it had Liam Neeson in it. And yeah, it just had jankiest effects, and whenever that water comes up, like with the faces in it, it just looks like that.
Yeah.
Really?
In that film, it's ghosts. It's ghosts in this one, but it's in black. Yeah,
There's a lot of good CGI in this film, but the ectoplasm underworld goo was pretty trash. But also, we got to remember it's 1999. You know.
Yeah, there's some.
That everything else works surprisingly well, except that.
Yeah,
that stands out.
Yeah, we're gonna find out. There's some good CGI and there's some bad CGI.
Oh yeah,
in this movie, but yeah, it's 1999, so you have to forgive some of it. So as she's being revived, the pharaoh's bodyguards with the black headdresses stop Imhotep before the ritual is completed, and Anak fades back into being dead, and the blob shadow thing leaves her body and goes back into the black water. Imhotep is then sentenced to be mummified alive. Think of that. By the priests who have on headgear resembling Anubis, the ancient Egyptian god of the underworld. These Anubis helmets are fucking awesome.
All the costumes and set designs in this movie are sick.
Yeah. This Anubis in particular, though, because that's my favorite ancient Egyptian deity.
He's just so badass.
So cool. Yeah, so cool. Again,
he is all over this film.
So you definitely love The Mummy too.
I like The Mummy too. I've seen it more. Yeah. But Quinn, before this fucking review is over, I'm probably going to say 20 times that you have to watch Stargate.
I will.
You have to watch Stargate.
I'll tell you what. I'll watch it tomorrow. I'll watch it. That'll be my Sunday movie.
It's like it's bothering me now that you haven't seen this. If you love The Mummy, I think you're gonna like blow a load over
any of those like early 2000s or like 90s era adventure movies. It's gonna be hard not to love them.
Yeah, I think Stargate was 1993.
I'm sure I'll love it, man.
I'm gonna say 94. That's not to be contrarian. I'm just thinking
could be 94. 94 was like an epic year in movies. If you go back and look at 94. There's a lot of good movies.
94, you were right on the money with that, Craig.
Is it 94? Good job,
yeah,
Craig.
October 28th. Brian, you suck.
I do suck. I was 1 year off. Sorry.
I did have it. I had it on VHS, so I probably read the back of the VHS.
I actually am kind of mad at myself because being such a big fan of that movie, I should have known.
Piece of shit.
Anyway, let's continue with this. So these Anubis guys... this is a very horrifying scene, actually, if you think about it. They don't really show much, but you see a bunch of Imhotep's crew strapped down on various slabs, and the priests with the Anubis helmets on are literally mummifying them alive, which means their organs are being taken out while they are still breathing.
Tongues, eyeballs.
Brutal stuff right here.
It's Iron Hookup.
Oh, the brain.
The brain, yeah.
Oh, my God.
Well, that's when you're just dead.
Here's one I thought was weird about the scene, because some of them like are stood up like on their own pillars, and then some of them on slabs, and I was like, "Have you not got this?"
Maybe some of the other Anubis guys just enjoy torture a little more.
Or maybe like these are the trainees.
Yeah, that or they're just running out of space.
The trainees.
The torture chamber.
So what we're gonna do here is we're gonna take the eyeballs out. Notice the wriggling of the guy on the slab. Just ignore that. He'll get over it in a few minutes.
If his feet are twitching, don't worry about it. Just carry on. It will soon stop. But no, I thought it was weird because it like you'd think it would be really like this is how we've got it. We've got it down to a T. So it's on slabs or slab or whatever it is. But no, okay. They're trying new shit out. You know, Egyptians didn't fuck around.
No.
Well, neither do Romans. So you're right about that.
They certainly don't.
All right. So Imhotep, so they're all on these slabs. Imhotep is then condemned to have his tongue taken out, placed in a coffin. He's placed in a coffin where an Anubis priest then takes a bucket and dumps what looks like a bunch of flesh-eating beetles the size of baseballs in the coffin with him. These beetles can run the 40-yard dash in under 5 because they are fast. They are fast.
Yeah.
Fastest beetles I've ever seen on foot, man. They immediately start consuming his body, and the priest shut the coffin with those little flesh-eating bastards. in there with him. So
Can
wanna
we
say
ask
something, Craig?
how? Yeah, how the hell are they still in that jar? Because they pour them in from a jar.
Mm-hmm.
They can run out.
yeah, oh yeah, yeah.
They know if they stay in the jar, they get fed a good meal every couple thousand years.
They know that they are in
Yeah.
that jar for a specific purpose.
Yeah.
These beetles are smart.
They've gone through HR training. They know their purpose.
Did anyone else get chills in their entire body when you're watching those getting poured all over Imhotep?
Not really, because
CG.
for me, it's like the CGI like makes them look too fake to really. If they were a bunch of like beetles that were like kind of like little animatronics type beetles or something, and they were crawling all over them, then it probably would have hit me a little harder.
Freaked me out. I remember
You
that
know?
specifically growing up, just being terrified of those little creatures.
Guys,
Yeah, I mean-
Scarabs, right? Scarabs.
Yeah, you'll see later that these things will what they actually do to people, which will be kind of cool.
Yeah.
Come on, guys, it's me. I'm not bothered. Brian knows
So
what I'm like.
Yeah. So the narration explains how this punishment is also meant to keep Imhotep alive for eternity. So it's basically a similar type of punishment that Prometheus would receive in Greek mythology. You know, he's kept alive, but he has to suffer every day.
The bird eats him, eats his flesh.
Eats his liver.
Yep, eats his liver, yeah. So eternal pain and never allowed to die. It sounds awful. All right, so the Pharaoh's men then bury the coffin, and the camera pans up to a massive statue of Anubis, and the titles hit on the screen, The Mummy.
The Mummy.
Classic
All
2000s intro.
Yeah.
And then it also
Music's
goes
blaring.
into
Music's blaring.
I
Like,
love the
uh-oh.
shot when they were going to cut off Imhotep's tongue, how the guy like pans in front of the camera and then it like cuts to the next scene. I love that shot so much.
That was a good one. So the Anubis statue is still visible, but now it's daytime, and we are in the future, which is somewhere around 1900, I'm guessing.
It's
At this point,
23?
1923.
23 exactly.
According to the internet, yes.
Really? Okay. Because I know down the road in this film, we figure out that the Great War, aka World War One, has already happened at some point.
Movie is set in 1923. But one of the issues with this film, they call it Libya, but Libya wasn't until. Sorry if I just bring this back up. Until 1934. So they're saying Libya, but Libya wasn't in place until 1934.
Love Hollywood.
They did mention Libya, yeah.
It's not in America, so it doesn't matter.
No, that's right. All right, so a bunch of men with the Anubis statue is still visible, but now it's daytime. So yeah, so we're in 1923. A bunch of men with guns appear and run towards what looks like a massive army. It looks like there's like 100,000 guys on horseback with guns. That shot with all these people.
So
I'm
sick.
like, and these guys on foot are maybe like 50.
Yeah.
Like they're not going to stop this. But it was nice shots of the armies forming. That was pretty cool. Introducing the Magi, who are descendants of the Pharaoh's sacred bodyguard, and they are on horse. I'm going to actually have to remember that word because I just dropped that word for the rest of these notes. So the Magi. They're descendants of the Pharaoh's.
So badass.
That's also used very popularly on Final Fantasy. You can have a Magi as part of your character, and I think it's been used on most, World of Warcraft kind of games. You can have a Magi in your Magi.
Oh.
Someone who
they're badass. That's for sure.
Someone who uses magic. Magi.
Got you.
All right, so the Magi are on horseback here, overlooking the battlefield. And the leader, I believe, is played by Oded Fair, who plays the leader. He is all in black with black face tattoos underneath his eyes to match. The massive army on horseback is charging towards the much smaller army on foot, where the commander of the smaller army immediately throws down his sword and flees on horseback. He was like, fuck this, I'm out. Which I don't blame him. If I saw that coming at me and I knew we only had 50 guys, I'd be like, I'm out of here too, dude.
I'm not defending this wall.
Yeah. It pans over to Brendan Fraser. He's here as
Woo!
Rick O'Connell. And the guy next to him says about the commander that just left. He says he just got promoted, referring to the commander who just legged it. Brendan and his buddy now point their guns at the incoming guys on horseback. They're getting closer, and now the guy next to Brendan Fraser throws his gun down and takes off for the rear as well.
Benny.
Yeah, he's
Welcome,
going to be
Benny.
Benny. Yeah. So Rick O'Connell then orders his men to fire, and now the guys behind the wall are firing repeatedly into the guys charging them. This is a pretty big battle sequence here. Very action-packed opening to this film.
The
It's pretty
stuntmen
cool.
on the horses. I don't know how they shot that, but I guarantee you there had to be at least a couple people with broken bones as they're falling off the horses, with horses just trampling over them, it seems, during that entire battle scene. I'm just like genuinely curious how no one died during that.
My mum's really big into horse racing. Nearly every race, someone gets injured. It's likely that there's going to be an injury. Someone's going to take a tumble, and these aren't big people, which may be to be their, to be their service. That they're not big, but you land, you're not having a good landing. You're taking a tumble, man.
Yeah, this is a very. I was actually pretty impressed with this opening sequence here. Let's go through it a little more. In one shot, the camera is kind of far back, and you see that there are also guys on foot behind Rick O'Connell's guys on top of a wall. And as the battle is going on, multiple guys, like 7 or 8 of them on this wall, get hit and fall very far to the ground. So I don't know what was worse, getting hit with a bullet or falling 100 feet to get flattened like a pancake on the ground there. They fall a long way. So this is a big set sequence here. This is the horsemen charge over the wall. Chaos ensues. One guy on horseback throws his sword at one of the guys on foot. And the sound it makes kills me when he throws it. It's the loudest, like, whooshing sound I've ever heard. It's like...
Dead center in the back.
Hits him square in the back. I was laughing at that.
That was good.
Our hero, Rick O'Connell, is loading his rifle and shooting. He's kicking ass. He then drops his rifle and pulls out 2 6-shooters and starts going ham. Meanwhile, the place is getting overrun by these guys on horseback. Rick and his army have pretty much no chance to win this. Then after Rick empties his 6-shooters, he pulls out 2 more pistols and keeps going absolutely ham on these guys. They look like 1911s or something. All the while backing up to the temple that they appear to be defending. The guy who betrayed Rick to open up the scene, Benny, he goes into the temple and shuts the door while Rick is running to it yelling, "Don't you close that door!" Rick then gets trapped at the door and he's still being shot at. He then books it for another part of the temple outside. He also knows parkour because he makes an awesome dive over part of the temple outside. I don't know if you noticed that. Yeah. He keeps running until he is cornered by a bunch of the guys on horseback. He accepts his fate, closes his eyes, but all of a sudden the guys on horseback are spooked by something. Some of them even fall off their horses. Rick opens his eyes and they're gone and he looks stunned. Then a creepy voice that you can't make out what it is starts saying things, and Rick turns around and he's standing right in front of a worn-down figure of Anubis. Then the sand starts moving. Rick gets out of the way and a massive face going, "Ah!" appears in the sand. So it looks like the guys were spooked because they know that they are at the city of the dead.
Hamunaptra.
Yeah. I didn't write that down because there's no way I would get that right.
Hamunaptra.
Thank you, Quinn. Hamunaptra.
Okay. No, the voice is saying you will die.
Is that what it says?
It says it a few times. You will die.
Really?
It's saying it in so
Very creepy voice.
super creepy voice. But yeah, like one of them just couldn't have let off one shot. He's right there in front of you. He's stopped. He's not moving. There's like 9 of them, 10 of him. Everyone's got guns out. He couldn't have just gone. Roll credits.
Where would our movie be then?
Gotta have the dramatic pause.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's great. But I just thought, like, you both get your guns out. Just one of you, shoot him.
Yeah. So
Maybe.
the Pharaoh's guys in black notice Rick running into the desert after he's done with this sequence. And Rick notices them, but then keeps going to safety where he's probably going to die if he just walks into the desert. The Pharaoh's guys in black, the Magi, that's what they're called, yeah,
Yep.
are watching him, and one asks if they should kill him. And the main guy says, no, the desert will kill him. Cut to Cairo, Egypt, where we are at a museum introducing Rachel Weisz as Evelyn Carnahan, storing away books like works of Socrates and various others on a bookshelf.
Rachel Weisz is a librarian. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
This is what I wrote, though. This is what I
Love to
wrote.
study
Because
with
this
her.
this is what I wrote, though, because this is very important. You can try to make her look as plain as you want.
Mm-hmm.
We know how hot Rachel Weisz is, okay?
Perfect.
So there's
It's
no
got the
use in
opposite
hiding it.
effect. It's got the opposite effect. You put Rachel Weisz in a fucking librarian's outfit.
Yeah, make her a secretary. I have never seen that video before.
Yeah.
Wonder how
So,
this ends.
yeah, man. So Evelyn is on this ladder and then messes up. So the ladder is she's now using the ladder as stilts and knocks over all the bookshelves in the room like dominoes. For a throwaway scene like this, it was actually pretty cool looking with the with dominoes going
Cool.
around the room like that.
Probably a
With the
hell of an
bookshelves.
expensive shot too.
For a throwaway scene, yeah, expensive and but it was very cool looking.
Yeah.
But
It,
yeah, I
it
guess
was. I love the fact it was throwaway though,
Mhm.
because the next scene is like that we're coming to is they just argue about it so flippantly. It's literally like there's all that effort and well, the reason you have me is because I can speak Latin and ancient Egyptian. It's just such a throwaway thing that it doesn't even matter, but
it's good that they tell you like how smart she is. You know, you get a
oh
little bit
no,
of
but
her
it's part of the
background.
charm. It's part of the charm that all that shit happened.
Exactly.
Like, all that effort, and then it's just a brush away kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Yep.
yeah. So in walks Dr. Terrence Bay, played by Eric Avari, and I actually have it written down this time. This is making me want to watch Stargate. So Quentin, you got to watch Stargate.
I will. Okay.
He
I
really
have-
because he's in that. So
Okay. He's in a lot of things. I feel like he always plays a very similar
yeah, he
character.
pops up. He's like Omen too. He pops up
Yeah.
randomly in things. So he walks up to Evelyn. He really admonishes Evelyn here, saying, "Give me frogs, flies, locusts, anything but you. Compared to you, the other plagues were a joy." I was like, God damn, that's a massive insult. I mean, I get his books got all fucked up, but god damn, dude, take a fucking chill pill. Like, Jesus Christ.
My immediate thought on this was, okay, is this guy Egyptian? Is he Christian? I think he's Jewish. And then he does say something that sounds Jewish, and I looked it up. It's not a Jewish word, like Mavishta or something like that.
That
And
would
it-
sound
yeah.
Jewish for sure.
And it's whatever he actually says. It's not a Jewish word, but there's one that's similar to it, which means on a journey, but it just doesn't make sense. But I was like, so what is he? Is he Egyptian? Is he Israeli? Is he Jewish?
Some sort of Middle Eastern.
Yeah, is he just?
I
Like,
would guess
general-
Egyptian because they're in Egypt.
Yeah.
But he
No.
says Allah. He does say Allah, but that doesn't make it any easier because
Yeah, but at that point in time,
Chris-
most of
Chris-
Egypt is like over 90% Muslim, I think.
well, Abrahamic religion, it's all Allah. So
Yeah.
Jews, Christians, and Muslims is the same God. So
Don't tell them that.
yeah, God's sake, let's not fucking.
Don't tell them that. You might start a fight.
Careful, Craig.
Although in the books it's supposed to be that way, but yeah.
It
Uh,
is.
So Evelyn starts.
Moving on before we die.
Yeah. Oops, what did I just do here? Evelyn starts defending herself, but as far as Dr. Bay is concerned, the only reason he puts up with her is because of her father. And I wrote nepotism, motherfucker. Dr. Bay leaves, Evelyn then hears a noise and goes into the next room, which has a lot of Egyptian artifacts in it. She now has a torch and hears another noise. She looks over what appears to be an open coffin, and then jump scare! A skeleton appears and scares the crap out of Evelyn, but it turns out to be a prank from her brother, who's played by John Hannah. So that's introducing her brother John, who's the actor's name is John, the character's name is John. I like it when that
Can't forget
happens.
those ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't happen often, but it does happen.
He's funny. He actually popped up the very first scene of the Last of Us TV show. He plays a news anchor on the show, and I can't tell you, I really don't think I've seen him in anything
Oh,
else.
he's in that creepy scene, like explaining what the
virus is.
virus
Yeah.
is, right?
He just pops
Yeah.
up there, and then that's his time in the show, which makes sense. But I hadn't seen him in anything besides the Mummy basically my entire life. I was like, oh, that's John.
Yeah,
I really recognize his face. I just couldn't tell you one thing he's from.
I think he's in that show. Well, I'm not an expert on this show. I only watched a few episodes, but I believe he's in that Spartacus show from like 10
Yeah.
to 15 years back.
He's great in this movie.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a fun little character here.
All the characters that they focus on even a little bit all have very unique personalities in this movie. Like I don't have a character that I dislike in this movie, you know?
Wow, look! Imagine that. Focus on the characters, and you've got a film that everyone likes.
Yeah.
Incredible.
All right.
Torches. Why have they got a museum and a library of all things with torches when electricity is invented and light bulbs?
Well, the torches were in the artifact room. I don't
Yeah.
think they hooked that room up with electricity. It doesn't look like it.
Oh no!
Maybe
they
it's
didn't,
maybe it's for effect. Maybe it's for show. Maybe
Hollywood. Once
Yeah,
again,
when they walk in there, they got to have the feeling that they're in ancient Egypt.
that and that
Well,
there's
they are in Egypt.
mummies that could pop out from every corner.
Ancient Egypt.
Yeah.
You got to
I
have the
mean-
feeling of walking around all these wonderful artifacts by torchlight. You
Yep.
can't do it. You can't do that in a proper way if you have electricity in the walls.
Yeah.
Okay, you can debunk me on that one. When they
See,
walk in,
I can be the good critic.
I'll be the bad critic on this one.
I'm sure you'll have some bad critic parts in here.
Yeah.
The statues, when she walks in, she walks past some statues, which are the black stone statues, and they've got the gold plated cup. How much gold is in that fucking room?
I was
Like,
going to say it looked like a treasure
much.
trove worth millions of dollars.
Yeah,
everything
that
in there
place
just
looks
looked like
it's minted.
yeah. I mean, it's like a museum library, which that makes sense, but
But it's not a museum. It's just like a hove of, they're keeping the artifacts in there. They're not actually displaying them. It's not for
valid
for
point. Yeah.
research. It's just somewhere. It's just a storage place.
Yeah.
But I was like, oh my god, how much is this shit worth? This is fucking priceless.
Yeah.
They can only afford one librarian who can't put anything on a.
Hey, Rachel Weisz
On the
is all
tea
you
stand.
need. That's all you
Hey.
need in there.
That's all you need.
Is all we need.
All right. Well, John Carnahan appears to be drunk. Evelyn starts confiding in him about being rejected for a job. John says he can cheer her up and gives her a box that looks like more than just a box. It opens up and a note is inside that looks very old. Evelyn opens it up and it appears to be a map with hieroglyphics on it. They bring it to Dr. Bay and tell him that they think this is the official seal of Seti, I think his name is. Seti the First, who apparently was the wealthiest pharaoh who ever lived. The map is 3,000 years old. Dr. Bay seems put off and says, "We are scholars, not treasure hunters." Dr. Bay also writes off this myth of the city of the dead as a tale told by Arabs to Roman and Greek tourists. I found that sentence amusing.
Yeah.
As it's like do we just tell them
It's
to
a
fuck
big
with them?
tourist trap, you know?
Yeah.
It didn't exist. I did look it up. It didn't exist back in ancient Rome. The city of the dead was never a place in ancient. Sorry, not ancient Rome, in ancient Egypt. So it was more of a modern construction. So that's possibly one of the factual things in this film.
Oh, yeah? That's interesting.
Yeah.
All right. Well, so even John knows the story and says that the entire city of the dead is supposed to sink into the sand on the Pharaoh's command like that. I have a feeling we might see this later on. I can't remember how the movie goes, so we will see. Dr. Bay accidentally lights this piece of paper on fire, and the part with the lost city gets burnt off, of course. Dr. Bay doesn't seem to care because he doesn't believe in this myth. All right. Big capital letters. Cut to Omid Jalili. My boy. Great British comedian. Quentin, you actually have to go see the.
You got to send me some of your videos from him
on YouTube.
I'll definitely watch them.
You got to see some clips on YouTube of this guy. He's really funny.
He's fantastic. He plays up the. I think he's Iranian. I think he plays up that, like the mixture of stereotypes really well.
Yeah.
He's Iranian but born in like London, and he just plays stereotypes really well.
He's British. He looks
a
like
Brit.
Yeah. He just
Looks
like he's from the Middle East.
He also put in.
Love that. I'll check him out for sure.
So yeah, he basically when it is stand-ups, he starts off in his like Iranian accent, and then he switches over to the British accent to be like, "See, I'm normal, guys. It's okay."
Okay, I think I have seen that clip maybe on Facebook or like doom scrolling because
you might have. He's a very funny man.
This guy talking in an accent through like his first set, and then like as he goes into the middle of his set, he switches it up, and everyone's like, "Wait, what?"
Yeah. So
absolutely sounds like something he'd do. He's absolutely spot on. He's well.
He looks white or no?
UK.
No.
Okay, different guy.
No, the Omid Jalili. He's the guy he's in this movie now. Like right now, he's escorting Evelyn and John to a prison. John apparently stole that box he gave Evelyn from a drunk at a local Casbah, so now they're at the prison to find him. And he's brought out, and it is Rick O'Connell, aka Brendan Fraser.
More feral Tarzan-looking version.
Yeah, he's got long hair. He's got a little facial hair going, a little bit. Brendan says, "Who are you, and who's the broad?" They introduce themselves. They ask about the puzzle box, and Brendan says he found it in the city of the dead. John then gets too close, and Rick punches him in the face through the bars. Evelyn then interrogates him some more. Rick says he was at the city of the dead for days. She wants to know more, and Brendan then waves his finger to come closer if she really wants to know. And she says she does. He then kisses her and says, "Then get me the hell out of here! Do it, lady!" Then Omid Jalili then says he is to be hanged. Evelyn then offers £100 to set him free. Omid says he will pay £100 just to see him hang. That was a funny line. So this guy now talking to Evelyn is Omid Jalili, the guy who's like running.
I've seen him in a lot of things.
Yeah, he's been in a few.
Well, he's in Gladiator 1.
Yeah.
Queer giraffes guy.
Yeah.
Queer giraffe guy.
What would I do with a giraffe? Anyway. As negotiations are proceeding, Rick is being put in a noose on the gallows in front of a large prison crowd here. Then Evelyn offers £500 to set him free, and Omid says, "What else? I'm a very lonely man," and then grabs her thigh.
Smacks him.
Evelyn then smacks his hand away, and the crowd loves it. Then Omid signals to hang him, and Rick drops through the trap door, and his neck doesn't break on the way down, so now he is being strangled to death by the rope. Anybody know any? Yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say, so that was actually a horrific thing that happened in while they were filming this movie. That was a stunt gone wrong. And when he drops and it gets his neck, that's actually him struggling for his life. That was not supposed to happen. There were supposed to be some things set in place. So he literally could have got his neck snapped there. It says he was actually hanging with the rope during a stunt gone wrong while filming the 1999 The Mummy. Fraser was standing on his toes with the rope around his neck. The rope tightened too much, and he was stuck on his toes where nowhere to go but down. He dropped and almost died.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Same on Back to the Future 3. You guys know that one?
No, I don't know that one.
Marty McFly gets hanged. He gets lassoed.
Right.
And then hanged. And then
Doc
Brown shoots him down.
Oh, crap.
Yeah, I remember the scene. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that was real. Michael J. Fox was getting hanged. like literally getting hanged.
Really?
That's wild.
And
I know it wasn't real that they waited for Doc Brown to shoot him down. That's the part that confused me a little bit. I'm like, wait, so he actually had to shoot this fucking guy down? I wonder how many takes that took.
Because obviously, because you can't communicate, because it's kind
Yeah.
of your fault.
He's like, damn, he's a really good actor.
I'll tell you what. It took a long time for Michael J. Fox. I'll fucking tell you that. Because that shit was real.
Imagine what was going through his mind. Him and Brendan Fraser when something like that happens on a fucking movie set.
That's insane.
And you can't but everyone just thinks you're doing a brilliant job. It's like fucking.
It's like, no, I'm actually dying.
Yeah. That's some wild shit, man. I didn't know either of these stories.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I wonder if anybody's actually... So that's two. If there's another one out there.
I mean, you obviously got Viggo Mortensen just breaking his toe. You got the Leonardo DiCaprio.
We can't bring that one up. That one's everybody knows.
Yeah, everyone knows that one. When Aragorn goes to kick the orc helmet and breaks his toe, screams in agony, and they kept the shot in the movie, not knowing that he broke his toe.
I actually didn't know that one, but I do know that one where the one orc guy like supposedly throws that one blade at him, and he has to get it out of the way.
Oh, yes.
That wasn't
real.
supposed to happen, and he
Viggo.
actually swiped it out of the way or something
That's
like
Viggo,
that.
man.
Viggo
And then you had
Mortensen is a
Leonardo
fucking
DiCaprio in
boss.
Django, where he accidentally breaks the glass in his hand, so his hand just
he's
starts
bleeding.
profusely pouring blood, and he rubs his bloody
rubs it all
hand
over his face.
all over her face. And that was real blood, and genuine disgust was her screams that came out of her mouth.
Yeah.
That is committing, and you would if you're doing it and you're there, just fuck it, go for it. Why not?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, little stuff. Thank you for that, by the way. Those stories like that are amazing. That's fucking horrifying, though. I had no idea that happened. So he's getting strangled to death by the rope. Then Evelyn says he knows the location of the city of the dead. Omid says she's lying, and Evelyn then offers 25% of the findings, and Omid finally signals to have Rick cut down before he dies. Rick looks up at Evelyn, who has a very satisfied look on her face. I have a feeling that Rick is going to satisfy her later.
Mm-hmm.
So
we all hope he does.
Yeah.
Do it for us. Do it for us, Rick.
Cut to Giza port in Cairo, and Evelyn and John are ready to go on an adventure, but they must find Rick, who instead finds them first. Very quickly, and Evelyn is very impressed with Rick's appearance because he is groomed and in a splendid outfit.
It's a stud.
Not gonna lie, young Brendan Fraser is a good-looking man.
Oh yeah,
he really is.
He's a stud. He's
a stud.
Stud here.
Have you seen him now? Have you seen him now?
Yeah, I saw The Whale.
I never watched The Whale. It looks too sad.
It's so sad.
It's very sad. It's worth a watch though.
Yeah, I mean he went through some pretty traumatic crap. I mean he was blacklisted away from Hollywood, and
is that what it happened? Because I wrote down here, I'm surprised that he didn't continue to get leading roles throughout his career.
Yeah, he was sexually violated. I'm pretty sure, and then he spoke about it.
He spoke about he spoke about someone that took liberties with him, let's just say, and he got blackballed.
Yeah,
and
it was
also I think his wife.
Allegation.
Yeah, and his wife. I think his wife at the time got sick as well.
Yeah, and his mother died. He had pretty bad health problems that he got injured a lot on the Mummy because he did a lot of his own stunts. But these injuries that he got are still affecting him now from the Mummy.
Oof.
Yeah.
Sometimes you hear about that with stunts than like injuries, because I know Daniel Craig is who was the most recent James Bond. He's like dealing with all types of fucking shit in his body because of the stunts that he did in the James Bond.
Meanwhile, Tom Cruise is still out there doing Tom Cruise.
Dude, that guy's invincible.
Riding a dirt bike off of the edge of a mountain just to parachute down.
Dude,
I want that. I want to do that.
There may be something in that Scientology we should look at.
I was just about to say that. Scientology must make you invincible.
DNA.
Those aliens will give us that ship, just get us ready for getting on the mothership,
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
no, Brendan Fraser, goddamn, he looks like an absolute stud muffin, and Rachel Weisz is very interested.
Yeah, favorite on-screen couple. They're for sure in my top 5.
Oh
Yeah.
god, the chemistry between these two is unreal. You can have two great actors and have no chemistry. These two just mesh.
Yep.
It's so good.
All right.
Let's
So Rick,
talk about it more.
yeah. So Rick then apologizes to John for hitting him earlier. Evelyn then asks if this voyage isn't pointless, and Rick says this whole garrison believed in it so much that they marched out without orders across Libya. There's the mention
Libya.
there. And Egypt to find the city, and all they found was sand and blood. That should be the indicator to not go right there. But
Love that line.
Yeah, John says yes, he's a complete scoundrel, and Evelyn has a look on her face like, "Oh, I know, I'm gonna fuck that scoundrel. You just watch." I don't have these fucking eyes for nothing.
I have a thing for scoundrels.
Yeah.
This
Omid
was
Jalili will be joining them on this journey to protect his investment. Cut to nighttime where it is now Assassin's Creed Egypt, where hooded pharaoh guys are now rowing in a canoe. The Magi, I guess they are, yeah. Cut again to the deck of a ship where a poker game is going on that John is attending. Rick walks in and declines to play. All these guys say they are looking for the city of the dead. Apparently John has been running his mouth about it. On the side of the boat, you see the Magi are sneaking beside the boat. More from that later. Rick then joins Evelyn, who's reading a book on the boat. Rick scares her a bit and then shows her a bunch of weapons that he has. One of them looks like a small crossbow gun. Did you see that shit?
Yeah.
It looked like
something straight out of Van Helsing.
It looked like a crossbow. Yes!
Yeah.
Yes, thank you. Yes, it looked something just out of Van Helsing. Because I was trying to think, I was like, what have I seen something like this in? And there it is.
If you look
for the save yet again.
If you go back and watch this, there's only 2 types of ammo. It's like, how the fuck does that work?
It's a quick shot though.
I think ammo doesn't exist in this movie. We'll soon find out. But
yeah.
Excuse me.
Evelyn says, "Did I miss something? Are we going into battle?" And Rick says, "Lady, there is something out there." Evelyn then asks what he thinks is out there. Rick says, "Evil." And this is going on, she keeps talking about the myth of the city and of the dead while Rick is preparing his weapons, like Arnold Schwarzenegger as the Terminator. Evelyn then asks, "Why did you kiss me?" Rick says, "I don't know. It seemed like a good idea at the time." Evelyn then storms off, but Rick hears another noise, and hiding behind some boxes is Benny, who abandoned him in that last battle scene. This guy's
just
played
like
by
a little
Kevin.
rat.
He looks like a little rat.
He's a cockroach. He's totally killed.
Yeah, he's played by Kevin J. O'Connor. Rick says, "Well, if it ain't my buddy Benny, I think I'll kill you." Benny is apparently leading Americans to the city of the dead, and he gets half if they find it. Apparently, these Americans are smart. It's nice to, even if it's for a brief time, it's nice to hear a movie call us smart because it's a rare occurrence.
Because it's American
very
made.
blatant in this film. It's very blatant.
Yeah. So Benny and Rick are sharing a joke together, and then Rick says, "Goodbye, Benny," and throws him overboard, just yeets him.
He flies. He flies.
He does. He yeets him hard. There's a scene later on where Rick throws something else, and I die laughing. But we're not quite there yet. Go ahead.
Benny was out the Royal Rumble there, mate. That was just
Yeah, it looked like a Royal Rumble elimination for sure.
just grabs him and chips over the top. He's out, man.
He's over the top rope. He's out. Get him out.
But then there's some wet footprints.
Yeah, well, if they're... I wrote down here, because he throws them overboard, and I'm assuming they're going down the Nile. That's what I'm assuming.
That's good.
Yeah. No crocodiles
You think that's...
in sight.
You think... Exactly. I wrote down... If he's in the water, there's got to be a massive Nile crocodile somewhere that's going,
Or
"Oh,
a hippo.
fuck yeah."
Come on, this isn't Gladiator 2. There are random animals ready to kill people.
Yeah, but that's it. No, they can't grab the crocodile and put him in a coliseum. This is the actual Nile where they fucking live.
Fair.
You know? They can't. There's no transporting of animals going on. These Niles live here and kill people for a living.
They couldn't do it because they put most of their budget into the bookshelf scene.
Yeah,
they ran out of.
You're gonna hear more about this crocodile shit later, but go ahead.
Gustav would be old enough to have killed him. Gustav, the now crocodile, was like eating 300 people. Like this thing is like 6 meters.
They grow like long. What, 20? Yeah, 20 something feet.
Some get even bigger, man.
Yeah.
Well, the saltwaters do, but Gustav has got like a kill count on humans of about 300.
That's insane.
That's what is estimated. This dude just does not fuck around.
Yeah.
Just imagine Gustav just rocking up on this boat.
I mean, not just him, but his relatives. I mean, there's got to be tons of them
Jr. It ranges from 200 to 1,000 deaths per year by Nile crocodiles.
Yeah.
200 to 1,000 is the range.
Yeah.
But it's still not documented. They haven't got the infrastructure to document it. So it's one of those things.
Yeah, so it's probably more. So then Rick then notices someone has come on board from the water. He's talking about the watery footsteps there. Cut to Evelyn in an evening gown. She says, "Oh, for heaven's sake, it wasn't that good of a kiss." And she's talking to herself. So she's still fluttered from that kiss. Yeah, she's still thinking about how charming Rick is. She leans over to pick up the book she just dropped. And when she comes up, one of the Magi is in there with her, all in black. And he has a knife to her face, not to her neck, her face, like right on her cheek. He asks where the map is, and she points to it. He then asks where the key is, and she doesn't know. Rick then bursts through the door with guns drawn. More Egyptian Assassin's Creed guys pop up, and it's a shootout. He takes Evelyn out of the room, but Evelyn panics because she forgot the map. But Rick says, "I'm the map. It's all up here," pointing at his head. A fire breaks out in the room where the shootout occurred. The Pharaoh guy, the Magi, is still reeling because Evelyn stabbed him in the eye. I guess I forgot to mention that.
With the candles, with the hot wax candles.
Yeah, ouch. He looks down at the key because it's on the floor, and as he goes to grab it, Evelyn's brother John walks in and accidentally bumps him into the couch, and the couch is on fire. So this guy starts burning to a crisp because Evelyn's brother just bumps him by accident. John then tries to grab the key, but the Magi, on fire, mind you.
This guy's pretty damn invincible.
Stops him from grabbing it and then attacks John ferociously while still burning up like a fucking Christmas fire here. So now we're cutting to horses being led out of the pen. We're still on the ship, but the horses are being led out of the pen from the ship. Most of the ship is on fire now. People are jumping overboard, and I write in all capital letters, "The Nile crocodiles are going to love this," because everybody's going overboard. And I also wrote, by the way, if I don't see a Nile crocodile in this movie, I will be very upset. So
here's the bad critic about the crocodiles.
You can't have everybody going overboard the Nile River and not one person gets eaten by a crocodile. Yeah. I'm very disappointed in that. But anyway, Rick and Evelyn are trying to make their escape but run into more gunfire. Rick is up against a wall and Evelyn grabs him and pulls him a couple feet over a little bit, and two gunshots go right where he's standing. Nice little touch there. He's like, he looks like pissed off and relieved at the same time. I wrote here, this film is really starting to remind me of like the Indiana Jones type feel. It's got that same kind of vibe to it.
Nice time jump to the past. You get that fun adventure. There's the girl. Everything leads to a great adventure movie when you got a few key things.
Those 1950s like comic books. Absolute everything that Indiana Jones is based off is all this. And I'm going to say, I'll be astonished if Quentin knows this film, but maybe Brian, The Rocketeer.
No,
I've not seen it. I've heard of it though.
So it's like 1930s, and a guy with a jetpack, basically.
Yeah, 91.
But it's so stylistic.
What is this? The first Iron Man? This guy just looks like a bootlegged Iron Man.
It's not that far off, but
All right.
Essentially, I think he's an actor, and he ends up with a rocket pack, and he goes off and he tries to be a sort of superhero. And Jennifer Connelly is the love interest. So
The hell?
Oh yeah. Oh,
watch it for that
Who?
alone.
Jennifer Connelly. Oh man.
Oh my! Did you
Especially
see
back then.
Oh, back then. Have you seen her now?
She
Oh my
still looks
god,
great.
she
Yeah.
looks like younger Demi Moore. She's gorgeous.
Yeah.
She's still around too. She was in the Top Gun Maverick movie as
Yes, she
Tom.
was. That's
she
where I
was
know her
in
from.
Top Gun Maverick, and she was in the Snowpiercer.
She's in one of my
No,
low
it's
key
Celebrity crushes.
No, she's in this movie. What was it called? Dark something. Dark City, I think it was called. Which is a very like low budget science fiction like weird movie. It's got
That was 1999. Okay.
it's got Rufus Sewell in it, I believe.
I think I know the one you mean.
Yeah.
I think
Not a lot of people have seen it, but it's like it's anyway. Getting too sidetracked here.
Anyway, Jennifer Connelly. Oh
Yeah.
Smoke show.
10%.
So Rick comes out, pistols drawn. He starts shooting multiple goons. He then asks Evelyn if she can swim, and she says, of course she can. He immediately then tosses her into the water. And now she is crocodile food. Yeah, so he's thrown 2 people over the top rope. But I wrote, she is now crocodile food. End credits, movie over.
He's got WrestleMania.
And credits.
Yeah, just kidding. But I'm still expecting a crocodile to show up. But Rick then goes to jump overboard, and a goon stops him. They proceed to have a UFC fight on the ship that's still on fire. Rick gets the best of him, and then Sparta kicks him into a door, which then goes up in a massive fuck all of flames. It was like the devil just sneezed on this guy.
Or Michael Bay.
This guy was like, this came in like a monster, just absolutely beat the shit out of him.
Oh yeah.
Where'd this guy come
Oh,
from?
he was getting good shots in the beginning, yeah.
He was getting his licks in. He was like beating his ass.
Magi, man, they're trained.
Yeah, but then he gets Sparta kicked through the door, and then the massive flame just engulfs him. I thought that was a little excessive, but okay.
It suits this film. This film.
Yeah, you gotta have a badass. You gotta have some badass kicks and punches. You know, you gotta have it all.
It's Indiana Jones with where he Temple of Doom, where he's punching that guy, where they're both on the treadmill that's going up to crush the rocks, and he's just punching him, and the guy's just taking it, and the guy like he's not even hitting him.
He's not budging.
Yeah, and it's exactly the same. And then eventually he just gets like the one shot in that matters, and it just weakens him.
Yeah,
it's absolutely that. And do you know what? I love it for that. It's paying homage to so much of those campy, swashbuckling hero stories. It's brilliant. I love it.
Yeah. All right. So Omid Jalili then asks Rick what to do, and he says, "Wait here, and I'll get help." Then he just jumps overboard, leaving Omid there, which is pretty funny. Omid then goes, "All right, fuck it," and jumps overboard too. Cut to John, who watches a shootout between the Egyptian pharaoh guards guys with the what is it again?
Magi.
Magi.
So there's a shootout between the Magi and the Americans, who look like they are having a grand old time in a shootout. They're smiling and shooting at the same time. They're like, "Yeah, we were born for this, baby. We're from Texas." All right, so lots of yelling and smiles from the American side. John sees this and says, "Oh, Americans."
Oh my god, I had that written down. That is the most British perspective of Americans.
It definitely is.
That's all you need to say is American.
And the one guy just like cocking it and just shooting off.
Love that.
And the British guys. Americans.
Yeah, I'm glad we have this cowboy reputation in all these movies.
It's
smiling and shooting, laughing.
We have the British equivalent in this film though as well, like the racial bias just being that. Oh yes, well I was actually at Bainbridge.
Yeah. Oh, is that the Winston character?
And the Winston character. Oh yeah, so I was
Yeah.
on Blackadder season 4. Yeah, that guy.
Yeah. In the midst of the shootout, the Mage guy that John set on fire in the last scene emerges from the ship, and I just ranting here. I'm like, he's still on fire. How is this guy still alive?
He's invincible.
He's still on fire, and he comes back out. He then goes to stab John, but one of the American cowboys takes his pistol and he starts rapid firing. Like, there's got to be a term for that, but I don't know it. But the repeated hammer thing, where
Well, if you don't know,
6-shooter.
The rest of us screwed.
Yeah, well, yeah, I don't know. Quentin, do you know what that term is when you do that with a gun?
Would do what?
So, 6-shooter, like
Yeah,
when you have a
cock it
6-shooter
Oh,
and you just keep cocking it.
Yeah, it's called cowboy shit.
Okay,
Cowboy shit.
we'll go with that. We'll go with cowboy shit. So he's doing the cowboy shit. All right. Yeah, sorry, I'm an American who doesn't know the term for that style of shooting. So
We also, I don't think we've mentioned it yet, but we're at the part of the movie where ammo is non-existent. You can just fire your gun, your 6-shot revolver a good 100 times before you have to throw it at someone to get a new gun.
I wasn't
Just gotta
keeping
throw
count.
that in there.
I wasn't keeping count, but from the way they use guns in this movie, I'm not surprised.
Yeah, I actually tried counting the amount of shots before he got a new gun, and I was like, "This is too much." I think I got up to 15, something like that.
Yeah.
I know that you can like 6-shooter 6, and obviously you've got different clips for different guns, but we don't count that sort of shit. Funny enough, in England, it's like, how many times did he stab him? Is that knife still? Is it fresh? Is it blunt? We just
The
got
most,
knives here, man.
The most memorable one for me was there's a scene in Tombstone where Doc Holliday has a double barrel shotgun, and instead of the 2 shots you get with it, he gets 3 shots off.
Interesting.
It's in the middle of the OK Corral shootout scene.
I still got to see.
Actually,
Tombstone.
I can't say anymore because Quentin hasn't seen that one either, which is amazing.
No.
Craig, have you seen that one?
I think I have seen all of it, but I've definitely seen most of it. But
Okay.
yeah, I know the film.
All right.
But
that's the
we'll
one
put it on the
movie.
list.
Yeah, that's
We'll
the
put
one
it on the
movie where I
list.
have the most artwork in this room for. You
I
see
was going
Doc
to say,
Holliday.
right above your head.
Yeah, and there's 2 more over here on the side. So
Let's put it on the list.
yeah.
I think I've seen most of it, but let's get it on the
Yeah.
list.
So he's doing the cowboy shit, and the American doing the cowboy shit takes out the flaming Mage guy, who should have been dead 10 minutes ago. John's watching this and says, "Bloody good show, chaps." A random flame then sends John overboard, and now the Americans are overboard with him. There has to be a Nile crocodile. Just give me one. Just give me one, please. But no, we're not going to see one, man. The survivors of this scene start going ashore. One of the Americans says, "This is a messed up country." I wrote that's definitely an American thing to say when he's in another country. You will definitely hear an American say that at some point.
Oh my god, that is fucking rich.
Yeah, that's probably like a stereotypical line, but it's not an inaccurate one for some Americans. They probably go on their first trip overseas. They go, "What the fuck is this?" Because they're not used to other cultures, man.
Can you imagine if you saw a crocodile?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, and that's
they got
right.
gators. They got gators in these waters.
Yeah.
This ain't Florida.
No, and there's no we're not going to see one crocodile. I'm fucking.
I know. I feel like we're
that.
teasing the audience. We're like, I know the crocodile's going to come.
No, there's no crocodiles in this version of the Nile. Cut to a village where Omid Jalili is getting slapped out of a tent by a bunch of women. That's funny.
Oh, yeah. What was he doing?
Everything.
He was trying.
He was trying something.
He was failing. He was trying.
He was trying to see what they look like because they were covered in from head to toe.
Had to even the masks on.
Yeah. Rick and John are buying some camels. Rick says, "You could have gotten them for free if you gave them to your sister." And weirdly, John agrees with this. I don't know what John's thinking here. Because he doesn't like his sister too much. Evelyn walks in now wearing a Middle Eastern garb, and she's looking good in it.
Ooh,
She's got the see-through thing in the front.
Yeah,
Her eyes.
Wow.
you just focus on her eyes there, and you're like,
Yeah.
what?
Yeah, it's pretty
Yeah,
good.
that's one of my weaknesses is the eyes, and
Oh,
they
yeah.
really do it well there.
Yep.
I love.
God damn.
Yeah, they're still trying to hide how good looking she is. You can't fool us, man.
No.
You can't fool us. We know she looks good. They are now on camel. Go ahead, Greg.
I was gonna say you mask everything, but all right, okay, we're gonna fool you. Let's just mask everything but her eyes.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and now she's giving you the
You-
doe
you-
eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Doofy bastards. That didn't work.
Yeah, they are now on camelback going through the desert. Omid Jalili is singing a goofy song. He's making me laugh. Every time I see him now, I laugh. They travel through the desert some more. This definitely feels like an Indiana Jones film. It's definitely got that vibe, man.
Oh yeah.
Which I'm not the biggest Indiana Jones fan.
Really?
But I do like him, but some people like worship the Indiana Jones franchise. I'm not like one of those guys, but I do like him. I didn't like the second one. Or the most recent two.
I like
Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Two.
I like Raiders of the Lost Ark, and what's the other one? Last Crusade. Those are the
Last
two. that I
Crusade, yeah. I like the time travel one. I thought that was really cool. The latest
did
one.
you say you could kick someone off?
I can. You want me to do it?
Yeah.
Or at least put him in timeout?
Don't you dare.
Let's send him back to Archimedes.
I'll send you a crystal skull in the mail. All right, Craig.
You can send me a crystal skull. You can.
Wait a minute. You mentioned Archimedes. Does that mean that he makes an appearance in the film?
He is. Well, it's the
Well, somebody plays him, obviously, but you know what I mean.
The Archimedes is. I blocked it out of my mind so much. But
You're talking about the Destiny of the Lost Dial, the latest one.
The Dial of Destiny.
The Dial of Destiny.
I like how you added more words. The Destiny of the Lost Dial. I like that.
Indiana Jones and the last what's her face of Fleabag.
Yeah.
Oh, God, that film.
I never watched it. I thought I hated the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. And I knew Spielberg was not involved with this one. I hated that movie. Kingdom of the Crystal Skull.
Quentin loved it.
I did. Because that was basically, think of it like my Star Wars thing, how I was introduced to the prequels. I didn't really watch Indiana Jones till I got that. And then being a young, very impressionable kid, I was like, oh my gosh, aliens. And then there was a show going on at the same time that crystal skulls were this real thing. And it's
so you watched Kingdom of the Crystal Skull first. Yes. What you're saying.
Yeah.
That's why he likes it.
Yeah. But I have gone back and watched the others since then.
Quentin's younger than us, so sometimes he tells me things where he watches things out of order, and I'm just like, dude, no.
It's a curse of being young. I missed out on the golden age of cinema, man.
Did you watch the prequels to Star Wars before you watched the originals?
Oh yeah, my first time watching A New Hope was with you, like fully, like
That was your first time?
Yeah, man.
Ever?
Oh, me and you sitting on the couch. Yep.
Damn.
Yep.
I mean, I felt bad.
It's probably because I got so mad at you for not watching it first.
You did.
I'm
pretty sure we were at a bar somewhere, and just the subject had came up. Star Wars, how it normally does, and I was
this is how serious of an offense it is, because I know we were both single at the time. And you mentioned to me in a full bar, probably at midnight or something, that you had never seen the original Star Wars, and I was like, "Bitch, I'm taking you away from all these women at the bar
right now,
and we're going to go home and watch Star Wars now."
That's literally what we did. That's exactly what we did.
You know how worried I'd be if someone proposed that to me. We're about it's midnight. There's women around.
But he's not I'm not a stranger. This is the first time we met. This is like two buddies.
Brian got me into the house. He said, "You want some popcorn? Just sit down."
A long game.
Okay. And then I slowly slipped a finger up there.
Yeah, I felt more like a fist, but never mind. Continue on.
All right, we're getting too sidetracked. We gotta continue with this fucking movie.
Guys, we're about like 30 minutes into a 2-hour film.
I know.
Yeah, we got to get rolling
every
here.
time. All right.
It happens every time.
Do you know what?
And
I
action.
actually don't care. But I'm having a blast.
All right, so now it's dark out, and the Magi guards are watching our heroes from horseback undetected again. John smacks Omid with his camel stick to stop him from storing.
And then he acts
And
like
that
he's
really-
asleep.
That really made me laugh. Rick notices the Egyptian pharaoh guards again, the Magi, and it zooms into the main guy who says in Arabic, I believe. Don't quote me on that, but I think it's Arabic. And he says,
They speak Arabic and ancient Egypt in this film,
Yeah.
so it's one of the two.
yeah, I think it's Arabic when he says it, but he says, this one is strong.
As with his supervision, and he sees him from probably 100 miles away. He's just
Yeah.
like, oh, that's him. That's him.
Definitely.
Yeah.
It is now daytime, and the Americans with Benny have joined the chase to the city of the dead. Benny compliments Rick's camel. Rick says to wait for the sun to rise so they can be shown the way. When the sun rises, it reveals the city of the dead. Rick says, here we go again. Everyone takes off on horseback and camelback. Rick and Benny have a race on their camels to the city, and in the process, they start fighting each other with their camel sticks, which is pretty funny. A lot of slapping going on in this one.
Oh, yeah.
Rick then grabs Benny and throws him to the ground. Dude, Rick loves yeeting people. He really does.
It's a
He
passion.
loves yeeting people. It should be a sport. He'd be the top athlete.
Those Canadians for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. What was I going to say? Yeah, they got $500 bet on as well with the Americans.
Yeah,
Get
to
the
see
bet.
who will
So
get to Hamunaptra.
That's
right.
right. It's not who gets to own it. It's $500.
Yeah.
Online.
So Evelyn
Which in
says
1923 is a hell of a lot of money.
Yeah, that's a shit.
that's a shit ton of money.
That would pay your rent for a month in America.
Evelyn says, serves you right, and then joins alongside Rick, and they have a stare. They are definitely going to fuck later. Evelyn's camel then takes off, and she arrives at the city entrance first. They now make camp at the ancient city. Rick is tying a rope around a column, and every time he swings a new loop, it smacks Omid Jalili with the end of the rope. Dude, Omid Jalili is just getting smacked around in every scene he's in.
It literally threw.
This poor fucking guy.
Yeah, he does not catch a break.
He's getting smacked around every scene, dude. It's like a fucking trope at this point. One of the Americans is talking to a British guy, and it's the guy who played both the dad from Jumanji and the hunter from Jumanji. Any of you guys see that movie with Robin
I love
Williams?
Jumanji. Are you kidding
I'm not
me?
talking about The Rock, the one with the rock in it.
No,
Rock
the
is
OG
good.
Jumanji with the monkeys and Robin Williams. Yeah,
Yeah.
I haven't seen that since.
Oh, it's so good.
96.
love that movie growing up.
I rewatched that like 2 years ago, and now going back and rewatching it, it was just okay.
Wasn't it?
for me.
Oh,
Nah, I loved it as a kid. I
Yeah.
fucking used to watch it all the time, but now I'm just like,
yeah.
it's,
Yeah.
you know.
I will say this: Robin Williams isn't infallible. Just watch Flubber.
Yeah.
Well, he's
You
the
don't-
reason to watch that movie. I
Yeah.
love Robin.
Oh yeah,
Williams.
but you can watch Aladdin, you can watch Good Will Hunting and go, oh my god, he was
Yeah.
brilliant. And then you
But
see
this guy-
Flubber and you go, well, okay.
Yeah, but this guy that I'm referring to, he played both the dad and the hunter in Jumanji. He plays Robin Williams' dad and the hunter guy that goes after him.
Well.
It's
Oh
a-
yeah.
yeah. It took me
the
forever to
furry
realize
outfit
that guy. Yeah, it took me forever to realize that both of those characters are played by the same guy.
That's funny.
It's actually a little dark, but that's getting into that film. Anyway, moving on. He says, so this guy then says, they are led by a woman. What does a woman? Should I say it in a British accent?
Give it a go.
This guy's British. They are led by
Oh
a
god,
woman.
oh,
What
right,
does a
that
woman
guy.
know? What does a
was good.
woman know?
That was good.
And
that guy I had down as Titanic. I've just looked in Titanic.
he's in
guy.
Titanic too, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's in a lot of
Yeah.
stuff.
He's like
Yeah.
Picasso. Is he one of the guests, or is it something? It's
Yeah,
something
he
like
plays
that.
he plays
He
a lot of
plays the-
pompous British characters.
Oh,
Yeah.
this fucking asshole. Yeah,
Yeah.
but he does
So-
it incredibly well. So that's why he gets so much work.
Yeah. So Evelyn has her crew setting up old mirrors, and Rick asks what they are for, and she says he will see.
Ancient
Rick then
mirrors.
ancient mirrors. Rick then gives her some tools she may need, and she appreciates that. They now go underground in this temple where Evelyn finds another mirror, and she turns it, and all the other mirrors light up because they all start bouncing the light off each other. They light the way into the temple. They are traveling by torchlight now through the temple, and they hear a bunch of bug noises. Uh-oh. I have a feeling that they are bugs that are the same sort that consumed Imhotep earlier.
Scarabs.
Yeah.
Scarab beetles.
Is that what they're called?
Scarab beetles, yeah.
I keep... Oh, scarab beetles. Okay. Scarab sounds cooler. They're looking for a secret compartment that Evelyn is talking about. Creepy noises are everywhere at this point. Rick has his guns drawn while John has his Derringer pistol drawn. What the fuck is John doing? He's got this little Derringer pistol. I'm like, what are you going to do with that? Assassinate Abraham Lincoln? Like, fuck. He only got fucking two. Well, that's a 2-shot Derringer, so it's only got 2 shots in it. But it's funny. Just watch them hold that. They turn the corner and the Americans are back with their guns drawn. Yeah. We're back and we're from Texas, ready to fight. Crisis averted until one of the Americans says, "Hey, that's my toolkit," which causes another brief showdown. So it turns out Rick stole the toolkit and gave it to Evelyn, which is nice.
Well, they say when he gave it to her,
Said he got it for his birthday or something.
No, they say you stole this. They said me and your brother say it's borrowed.
Oh yeah, I like that. That was funny.
So,
That's a good job. That slipped past me.
But yeah, this film it takes pot shots at British and Americans. When he says
pretty hand in hand.
Said it at all yet, but he says bloody Yanks.
Yeah, every nationality that shows up in this film is getting a stereotype
for sure,
whether they like it or not.
Yeah, Ahmed Jalili's not getting away with this.
No,
and like the librarian guy. I was like, is he Muslim? Is he Israeli?
He had a little bit of it all.
He was like complete hodgepodge, and then he says something that I thought was Jewish, which is why I looked it up. So, he's Jewish. And I was like, no, that's a minute. Like, you just made that word up. I was like,
yeah.
But this film just takes the bit, but it's charming enough that it gets away with it. It doesn't. Yeah,
it's not super bad. It's just goofy, you know.
Yeah, it's goofy. It's not meant
stereotype
to be
humor.
Yeah. Bloody yank! Oh, yeehaw! Fucking 6 shooters.
Yeah.
It's not bad. It's absolute charm.
Yeah, Evelyn says we have a lot of work to do, and the villainous British guy says, "Push off, woman," which causes another showdown. I love the tone of this movie. There needs to be more. I wrote down there needs to be more movies like this made today, because there's not a lot of movies are made like this anymore. It's they don't have this like kind of
movies anymore, man.
You know, it's like one of those where it's not to be taken seriously, but it gives you a sense of adventure also at the same time. You know, it's fun. What did you say? Whimsical.
Whimsical, yeah.
Yeah,
whimsical.
Yeah. I know it's overtly British, but yeah, it's whimsical. It absolutely is.
I love that.
It's like, oh yeah, you can just imagine yourself being in, like ancient. We're going back. We're exploring ancient Rome in the 1920s, and all we've got is propeller planes, and maybe a radio, and we've got 6 shooters, and it's fun, and it just creates story because you don't have to rely on everything else. You just have story,
have a little romance, have some adventure, some good comedy, and what this movie adds in that not a lot of them did, but that fear, the scary aspect of the Mummy is so cool. They had so much going for it, and it was so good. But sorry.
We're going to cut to Rick and Evelyn trying to knock down the ceiling here. John is still ranting about the Yanks. I actually have this written down to ask Craig about the Yank insult.
Okay, hit me with it.
Well, I mean, do you think that it actually insults us when you call us Yanks?
Yes.
Really?
If we're saying bloody Yanks, we're going fucking hell. Typical American stereotype. That's what that means.
Okay.
Interesting.
The same as if you guys said Yank is limey, the equivalent when I told Quentin fuck is quid. Yank.
Oh
is
yeah,
limey.
yeah.
So the equivalent. So if you say
You said limey, like a lime.
yeah, that's what it was. Like, fucking
Interesting.
limeys. Hey, those fucking limeys. Which means British people.
You should just clip all that of him just saying that on repeat and just
Yeah.
Oh, dude,
bloody Yanks, fucking limeys.
I'll get all the folks in the world.
I love that.
No, the reason I asked that is just because, like, whenever I hear the word yank, I'm like, fuck yeah, I'm a yank.
Yeah.
It's weird with like a sense
Yankee,
of pride, even though the intention is not good. But like, we're like, oh, we got called a yank. We must be doing something
We're
right.
proud and
Yeah, if someone says bloody Brits, it's like, yeah, you fucking right we are. No, but isn't Yankee like Yankee is New Yorker?
New York, yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
I mean,
northern parts of the East Coast of America.
It really refers to all of us when it's done outside of our country. But if you're in the country and you are American and you refer to somebody as a Yankee, you are referring to someone from, as we would say in Florida, up north.
Yeah.
You know, because there's still lingering effects from the Civil War. Believe it or not, the American South is much different from the rest of the country.
Very
and,
much.
if you call one of them a Yankee, you are probably going to get a gun put in your face at some point, or at the very least, have them try to fist fight you because they don't like that.
Dude, if you look back at how far back our last Civil War was, and the North and South divide, Jesus Christ, we still haven't gotten over it. I mean, it's not that simple, but
when you Quentin, if you ever learn about the Brits, they have a big North and South divide actually.
Interesting.
Over there,
yeah, it's weird, complicated, and mostly stupid.
So are you north or south?
I'm northeast.
Okay.
I'm a northeast.
You're one of them North Brits that I hear about.
That y'all hear about? Yeah, I'm one of them. I'm a northeast lad.
But I think the difference is like here, the further south you go, the more country it gets.
Yeah. So like,
whereas in England
upside down.
Yeah.
If you turn England upside down, that is what America is. So the more northeast you get, like, especially in the northeast, like the Hamptons and I think that's a thing. I don't know if that's just made up for film.
No, the Hamptons.
Yeah, like going to Hamptons.
No, it's just extremely rich area.
Yeah. That's basically London. Like,
gotcha.
But also a little bit further south, you've got like New York, Pittsburgh, Chicago. They're all like they're not that far away from each other. So that area, like, flip that back around. So that's now in the south. That's like all the London southeast area. That's all the, everyone from the northeast is a lower class minimum wage worker, works with their hands, and everyone down south doesn't work with their hands, doesn't know how to do anything, and they're all upper crust, stuck up their ass,
posh,
higher wage, posh people. They're all posh. Yes. Like some of them are called Quentin, and that's not a joke. But no, it's quite a thing. I'm doing it a disservice. But
have to make it up there someday.
Oh, dude. I live next to the train station. I'll make this very quick. Live next to the train station. Next stop down is York, and York is one of the best cities in England, in Europe. And I know Brian wants to go there, and when you come there, I'll meet you there, mate.
Love that.
Right. And that's where the Vikings made a settlement. So Jorvik.
That's what New York is named after, I believe, too, right?
Yeah. So York is from so it was New England.
York is the original York.
Wow.
As opposed to New York.
And we have a Boston. we have a stocked. There's a Stockton. There is in Newcastle in America somewhere. Yeah,
Just a lot. Yeah.
yeah. There's a London in Canada. Like, yeah, we took all our names and just went, fuck it, we'll call it that. We've killed all the Indians. We need to give it a new name.
Yeah. There's still some Indian names, though. But the further south you go, the more, here in the States, the further south you go, the more Indian names you'll find, though.
Oh, yeah, especially in Florida.
In the South, they kept a lot of them.
Yeah, we haven't got a Dakota.
Yeah. Tallahassee.
Tallahassee. We haven't got a Saskatoon.
Chattanooga. Chickamauga. Yeah, it's tons of Indian words.
We haven't got a Little Rock, Arkansas.
Yeah. All right. So let's cut to Omid Jalili is now crawling by torchlight somewhere. He finds a wall with a blue beetle thingy on the wall. He pries one out. He also imitates the he also imitates the cartouche in the wall by going, "Ah!"
That scene was so. I knew you were going to love that.
I fucking died when he did that. Oh, the blue beetle things look just like the things that ate Imhotep. So, the villainous British guy gets his goons to open part of a wall that sprays something at them, and it looks like it's acid that's eating their flesh. That was pretty wild. The Americans are freaked out by this. Evelyn explains mummification to Rick while John looks to be pretending to play golf. A coffin suddenly falls through the ceiling and lands right in between them. Rachel says that this person in the coffin must be of great importance or they did something very naughty. I wrote, "Tell me more, Rachel, about being naughty. I would love to hear about this."
Boy?
Yeah.
Yes, I am. Yes.
Yes. Please.
Punish.
Omid is still collecting these blue beetle jewel things, and one of them drops to the ground. It starts moving, and finally one of the beetle creatures, you guys call them scarabs, right?
Scarab beetles, yeah.
So,
have you not seen Aladdin?
I have seen Aladdin.
Yeah, scarab beetle.
Yeah, I didn't know they were called scarab beetles, though.
The more you know.
The more you know. Yeah.
The more you know. I know that means.
Learn things every day. Imhotep emerges from the creatures that ate Imhotep in the earlier scene. One of them emerges from this thing and immediately goes to attack Omid by sneaking into his boot. Omid screams bloody murder and rips his shirt open. The beetle is clanging through his body, and you see it moving up, probably eating everything on the way through. When it gets to his face, it cuts away to our heroes with the coffin. There's a lot of cuts back and forth in this movie to find out what everyone in this place is doing. The coffin apparently says, "He that shall not be named." Evelyn realizes this is the coffin that requires the key that they have. She puts it into where it goes, but then they hear Omid Jalili still screaming. He runs past them straight into a wall, and the sound it makes made me laugh. He fucking slams in this wall.
Hard.
Yeah. Now our heroes are outside by a fire, and Rick tells them how the Americans were freaked out by the salt acid thing, trying to open the wall in that one scene. A weird noise happens, and Evelyn yells at them for believing in curses. John goes into Omid Jalili's bag that he took with him and finds some Glenn Levitt.
He is dead now, by the way.
Yeah, he is dead.
He's dead, and
we're never going to see him again.
They're like, all right, let's look through his shit. Let's see what he's got.
Yeah, he's got some Glenn Levitt. Let's party.
Yep.
No, that beetle goes up to, you see it about.
It looks like it goes into his brain.
It goes into his brain. Yeah, so he is dead. He just ran into a wall and died.
Got his brain.
Either that or the scarab is now controlling his body like a head crab from Half-Life or something. Anyway, Rick hears noise and they go to see what's happening. The Egyptian pharaoh guards, the Magi, are here on horseback and are ready to throw down with everyone who is encamped here. Another action scene commences here. Rick joins one of the Americans in the shootout because us Americans love a good shootout.
You gotta stick together.
You gotta stick together here. Make sure you got your 6-shooter. John is drinking Glenn Levitt with infinite ammo. Because it's Red Dead Redemption 2.
Yeah.
John is drinking Glenlivet and shooting a pistol at the same time. I thought that was pretty funny.
It was legendary.
It's Tomb Raider. Lara Croft with the two shooters. So many times I thought that is so Tomb Raider.
Yeah. Yeah, Lara
And
Croft.
this
That's,
came out-
that's another one as well.
just after Tomb Raider.
An Egyptian, one of the Magi guys, chases after John and Rick and leaps. He chases after John, and Rick leaps onto him to knock him off his horse, and it's the leader of the Magi from earlier. Rick then shoots the sword out of his hands, which is interesting. But one of his guys knocks the gun out of Rick's hands. Then Rick lights a dynamite stick, but the leader of the Magi says, "Enough. We will shed no more blood." Yeah. He's Rick's holding it up like this. So the leader says, "We will shed no more blood, but you must leave this place or you will die. You have one day."
I've never seen anyone hold dynamite that fast before. Because he just thinking, I was like, "Oh shit, yeah, the wick's really long." But he was just he knew. I was like, "Oh my god, what's he doing? He's gonna die. He's gonna explode." No.
Yeah, this guy's a crazy
See his
person.
blown up hand on the ground in the next shot.
Yeah. Then the leader gets up on his horse, and him and his guard leave into the night. Rick diffuses the dynamite stick and goes over to Evelyn to see if she is okay. They have another one of those love stares. The Americans now think the fortune is definitely here. So it's all that crazy. If they're shooting out with us, I'll tell you what, that fortune must be underground here. We're gonna dig and we're gonna find it. I'll tell you that right now. Rick says, "No, these are a desert people. They value water, not gold." And I immediately thought of Dune. And in my head, I can just hear the "Ah!"
Fuck it.
Good old Hans Zimmer.
Give us a warning next time you're gonna do that. Shit.
Yeah, I want to turn you up next time. Get fully serenade. Serenation Station, baby.
Oh. Rick and Evelyn start flirting while everyone is asleep. Evelyn then starts explaining how her father was a famous explorer. She is so drunk she looks like she is going to throttle Rick at any moment. She then says she's going to kiss him, and as she's about to, she passes out in his crotch.
Biggest blue ball in history.
That far away from a Desert Hawk tour. Damn it, Rick.
You said a Desert Hawk tour?
Yeah, what was that? Did you say Desert Hawk tour?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
That was good. That's good
it's
stuff.
probably mostly sands, but you gotta
a Desert Hawk tour. That sounds like it hurts.
She was gonna give him a kiss. She didn't say where. She didn't specify. All right.
That sounds very scratchy.
Yeah.
Well, I know you both go to the beach, so I'm not gonna say anything. I've been to the beach.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's move on. All right, fade to a shot of the sun in the underground. Underground, the British villain and his American goons are taking out an artifact. The British guy says there is a curse upon this chest. One of the Americans says, "My ass." The baby laugh. Apparently, this chest has an inscription that says, "Death will come on swift wings to whomsoever opens this chest." Then wind and weird noises occur, of course. And this is just reminding me, this part reminded me of the Holy Grail in Raiders of the Lost Ark a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. The British guy then reads, go ahead.
No, you can't not replicate that though with a curse, and like there's nowhere else to go with that. Literally, it's like that,
right.
Like, what else can you do?
Yeah. The British guy then reads some more that talks about how one of the undead will kill anyone who opens this chest, and he will regenerate himself with their dead organs and liquids. Wild shit. So he's definitely foreshadowing what Imhotep's going to be all about in a few minutes here. One of the Americans says, "Superstitious bastard," and opens the chest, and a big puff of smoke comes up out of it. And the scene cuts away. Americans got to ruin everything. Rick and John are helping Evelyn open the coffin they found, and yet another jump scare as this corpse comes flying out of it.
Juicy corpse. Juicy.
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 Juicy. Rick asks if he's supposed to look like that. Evelyn says no, she hasn't seen a mummy look like this before. He's still juicy. She says it looks as if he's still decomposing. Now they look on the inside of the front of the coffin, and there's nail marks from this corpse trying to escape. And an inscription says, "Death is only the beginning." Cut back to the British villainous guy and the Americans, and they find a book in the chest. One of the Americans kicks open another part of the chest. A bunch of small jars with Egyptian gods on them are in there. And the Americans believe this is the treasure that they are looking for. So they're getting all happy. Now we are back at the camp by Nightfire, where the Americans are bragging about their findings. Evelyn finds some of those fossilized flesh-eating beetles from the coffin they opened earlier. Evelyn then explains the curse that happened in the beginning of the movie and to Rick and the others. So cut back to the British dude who is sleeping while holding the book. He's falling asleep like that. That he took from the ancient Egyptian chest. And Evelyn just walks up and takes it while he's sleeping. So he's not very good at protecting this thing.
No.
She just picks it up.
He's not even in a tent. He's just
he's just sleeping.
He's just sleeping.
Drunk, passed out on that Glenlivet 12.
Yeah, I guess so. I guess the Glenlivet was too much.
It's a community bottle.
Rick is just chilling with this shotgun and says to Evelyn, "That's called stealing, you know," referring to her taking the book. And Evelyn says, "According to you and my brother, it's called
borrowing."
Yeah. So that was from the line from earlier. Great response there. So Evelyn then takes the key from earlier and opens up the book, because this key can open up that book as well.
Can open up just about everything they need a key for.
Yeah, man.
Do you mean it's a MacGuffin? Do you mean it just does everything? Or a Deus Ex Machina?
The what?
A what?
Deus Ex Machina.
Oh, Ex Machina.
Oh, the movie.
No, it's a term. God-based man.
Oh, heard that.
Deus Ex Machina is when something just turns up completely out of the blue that you don't expect, and it resolves the conflict.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So when she opens it, it makes a creepy noise and wind blows yet again. Every time they find a new artifact, the wind starts blowing. Evelyn.
Everyone notices it too. They're all like, "Oh, that was weird." It happens like 4 times. They always take a couple of seconds when it happens.
They always pause and they're like,
Do you know what? At least they acknowledge. They actually acknowledge it, and they
exactly.
It becomes a little plot point.
They play into the goofiness.
They do so much, and they do it wonderfully in this film.
Mm-hmm.
Evelyn then starts reading from the book in ancient Egyptian. I'm assuming that's what the language is, and it cuts to the corpse from the coffin, and that must have done something, because now it's alive. It's alive. The corpse has come alive, and it's definitely Imhotep. He yells something, and the British villain finally wakes up and yells, "No, you mustn't read from the book!" It gets quiet, but we hear a faint noise approaching. Everyone is now awake to see what it is. Now approaching is what looks to be a giant horde of locusts. Some real biblical stuff here. Almost all of the crew now runs back into the temple. The American with the glasses on falls down and drops his glasses. Benny steps on them on his way past him. Fucking dick. Now it is the American alone, and he can't see without his glasses, but he's trying to find his way around, and he hears a noise.
Was he Macaulay Culkin? You can't see without his glasses.
Or Velma, Scooby-Doo. That's what I always think of when I see that.
Yeah, he's trying to find his way around, and he hears a noise. He quickly draws his gun, but he's not going to hit anything if he can't see.
Well, so he can't see him because he like this dude. Got to say it. This is Bill Hader and John Cena had a baby.
Yeah, I could see that.
I see it. Yeah.
Yep.
He looks like the split between them. So yeah, you can't see. Well, he can't see them.
Yeah. So now something creeps up on him, and he turns around, and the American screams for his life. You know, it's the mummy, but you don't see him. I usually love this trick where you don't reveal the monster right away, but we already saw him come to life in that last scene, so I thought you might as well show him now. You know what I mean? But now we're back with our now we're back with our heroes, and a loud noise pops, and out of the ground, a mound of those flesh-eating beetles appear. The scarabs. They make a run for it.
They shout scarab beetles.
Do they?
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't catch that. All right, well, they make a run for it, and these scarabs they're fucking fast as hell. They hop off to the side of platform and avoid them and manage to, because they go past them on the platform they're on. I guess they can't jump.
No.
I don't know. They can't jump over to get them. But Evelyn gets sucked into a secret passage in the wall she's leaning against. And as she's trying to figure out where she is, she runs into the American who lost his glasses. But as his back turned, she says she's relieved to see him. But when he turns around, he doesn't have any eyes. She freaks out and then backs up into the mummy, who now has a pair of eyes from the American. He took them from him. He looks pretty scary. I wrote down the CGI probably hasn't aged that well, but it doesn't look terrible.
No.
I'm
For
saying way worse
1999,
than
I think it looks damn good.
Yeah, for 1999, it's yeah. I wrote down that if you compare it to Phantom Menace, then it might look a little bad, but
fair.
which came out the same year. But for the way it looks and knowing what year the movie came out, I'd say it's okay. It's not good. It's not terrible.
If you compare Industrial Light and Magic to this, wow.
Yeah, true. The mummy is walking down Evelyn now, but not killing her. It looks like he has the hots for her.
Hell yeah, who wouldn't?
Can't say I blame him. Can't say I blame that. 3,000 years old, he's trying to get some.
We're about to bring that dick back to life.
Yeah.
Just because he's dead, just undead.
Yeah. The American is babbling. He took my tongue.
Yeah.
Yeah. This poor guy doesn't have a tongue, and we're making fun of him.
Did he have a tongue, or did he have learning difficulties? Which one was it?
No, don't go there.
I don't know.
No, don't go there. Oh, the mummy turns back to Evelyn and says, Anaksu Namun. So Imhotep thinks that Evelyn is his lost love from the beginning of the movie. Well, it's not quite that case, but that's what I had written down as I was watching it.
No, that's what he thinks. He wants to put her soul into the body, I think.
Yeah, it's something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But she looks absolutely nothing like her.
I was gonna say a couple lighter. She lost her tan.
He
and
probably
body
just saw the
paint.
first hot. He ran into the first hot girl he could find and was like, "It's definitely you."
Yeah, he hasn't gotten off in a few thousand years, you know.
Dude, that's every guy after a breakup.
Yeah.
So, cut to Rick trying to break into this trap door that Evelyn fell into. The Americans come running through, and they all flee from the scarabs that are back for more. One of the guys falls down, and the beetles takes care of this guy really quick. Rick has time to pause and watch the whole thing go down, and then flee again when they stop eating him. The corpse the beetles leave behind looks grotesque. I went back in time. I rewound this and timed how long it took for the scarabs to eat this guy, and it took 4 seconds.
Jeez.
That is fast. Okay. That is efficiency.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is...
I made a note about this. Juicy Mummy that we got earlier.
Yeah.
He's been in there for thousands of years. Thousands of years. What, do they just get full really quick?
No.
Welcome.
No, well, here's the thing. The Imhotep has been cursed, so he's to stay alive and be eternally eaten by these guys.
Right. Eternally eaten slowly. Yeah. And they said that, I think.
Yeah. Which is, it's the same kind of deal with like Prometheus kind of thing. They keep you alive and you're still just suffering every day. So you're basically being eaten alive eternally. Yeah.
Which is insane.
Yeah. So
sorry, I missed that point, but I just remember thinking, I actually saw that and I thought, hang on, they just ran over that guy. Like no one's.
They took care of him in 4 seconds, man.
Yeah, that's
fast.
They haven't had a proper meal in years. They've been having to nurse himself off of the decaying Imhotep. So now they're out and they're hungry. It's Thanksgiving.
Yeah,
it was like Imhotep and everyone they sent down here from Disney's Aladdin.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So back to Imhotep walking. He's still walking down Evelyn. He still thinks she is Princess Anak or whatever her name is, and tells her to come with him. Rick comes running in and says, "What are you playing, hide and go seek?" He then turns and realizes the mummy is right there, and he goes, "Whoa!" That made me laugh.
His expressions are 10
Yeah,
out of
his
10.
expression was great. John and the others show up too, and the mummy then roars at them all. Rick then roars right back at him with a terrified look on his face. He like roars back, and he's like, "Rah!"
It's that baboon mentality, man. You got to dish it right back.
Like, but this was good. This is how you do it.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah. He then shoots Imhotep with a shotgun, which drops him. Momentarily, though. But after they get away, Imhotep gets right back up. They run outside and are cut off by the Magi.
Magi.
I've said it 6 times. Magi.
I'll never get it.
Magi.
So they have guns drawn, the Magi. The the leader drops his mask and says, "I told you to leave or die. You refused, and now you may have killed us all." Rick says, "Relax, I got him," because he shot him with the shotgun, but he doesn't know. So now the leader of the Magi says, "No mortal can kill this creature." They then drag in the American who lost his eyes and his tongue to Imhotep, where apparently the Egyptian guard saved him before Imhotep could finish him off. Rick again says, "I told you I got him." And the Magi leader hypes this Imhotep up like he's going to end the world as we know it. Which he might, according to this movie. Cut to Benny, who is still in the tunnels of the temple. He turns around and Imhotep is right behind him.
I love this scene.
He starts walking down Benny, and Benny starts taking out medallions around his neck, different religious. He starts with the cross. And he starts praying. Then he starts pulling out other ones and praying in different languages. I don't know what most of these languages are, but it sounded kind of ridiculous coming from this guy's mouth. There
was some sort of.
He was like, "Oh, yeah." One sounded Chinese.
Moi choi.
I am not participating in this reenactment.
Yeah, I realized it as I was saying "machoy" over.
Well, he's like mumbling more. It's like it's like he's crying and trying to speak another language at the same time.
Actually accurate.
Yeah,
but because he's got the Middle Eastern accent, so mix that with the words that you say. Yeah, you should go for it. You guys, go ahead.
He's scared. He thinks we're trying to make fun of this.
The third one was
the languages. We're making fun of him.
Yeah.
Relax, Craig. We're not even monetized yet, anyway.
Yeah, because I'm.
I wanted to fact check myself for the people. It was Chinese that he was doing in that part. Right?
Yeah,
it was Chinese.
Well, I'm glad you fact checked because I would be extremely upset if you hadn't fact checked this and it turned out to be offensive to 3 people who never watched this.
Yeah. So as he's putting up all the different symbols around his neck, he then throws up the Star of David, and this stops Imhotep in his tracks, and he goes, "Oh, the language of the slaves. I may have a use for you."
No.
I mean, you got to think thousands of years ago that was the case.
Yeah, that's one of the biggest stories. That's the story of Moses.
Yeah.
They all used to be slaves. Moses saved them all.
Biblical.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, let my people go.
Yeah. He then pulls out gold and says the rewards will be great. So Benny is now in the employment of Imhotep. Imhotep now wants to know where the sacred jars are. So cut to the Americans riding away and Imhotep's wrangly hand coming out of the ground at the end there. Now we see our heroes arrived at Fort Bryden in Cairo, maybe named after Rob Brydon. Who knows?
I wasn't going to say it, but I was thinking it.
I was thinking it too. That's why I wrote it down. I did that just for you, my boy. All right. So Rick and Evelyn are packing suitcases and trying to comprehend what just happened. Rick is yelling at her for reading that book. Rick says he's immortal. There are no weapons that can kill this guy. Evelyn simply says we will just have to find some immortal ones. I fucking cringed at that one. Because it's that easy, people. We'll just find some immortal weapons.
Hey,
They're just laying
they found an
around. We
immortal
just gotta
mummy.
find them.
They found
Yeah.
an immortal mummy.
I can't fault her logic. Go David Mitchell on that one. Yeah, right. So
Yeah.
you can't kill him with mortal weapons. Right, okay, we need immortal weapons.
Yeah.
It's
So-
somewhere to start.
Or
Yeah.
just kill him how
Like
Lord of the
it-
Rings did. You know, they just spot a woman in, and the woman can kill the end
No,
boss.
no, that is there's more of that. There's more of that. We'll get to that one.
We will.
in
We
7
will.
months' time.
Are you guys talking about the show or the?
No, the movie.
we are not talking about the show.
I am no man. I'm a woman.
Oh, that scene. Yeah. Okay.
No.
Okay. Okay. got it.
No, it's actually got
All right.
more to do with what Mary does when
Yes,
Mary stabs him.
we'll get to that.
All
Very
righty.
well.
Brandon be
Well.
the bad critic. Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
In that movie, yeah. Rick and Evelyn are packing suitcases and trying to. Oh, I've already read that bit. Sorry. So they're trying to find some immortal weapons now. Evelyn then unknowingly slams the suitcase on Rick's hand. That made me laugh. She doesn't even notice either. She's just still explaining the situation to him. Evelyn says, "This guy is going to destroy the Earth." Rick says, "Is that my problem?" I said, "Okay, Han Solo."
Mm-hmm.
That was such a Han Solo line.
Oh yeah.
And also, in that scene, like obviously there's a height difference, but he looks jacked. Like he looks like
Yeah, he looks huge.
Oh, he's a
compared to
big
her.
guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Brendan Fraser's been at the gym.
I'm pretty sure he's like 6'5" or something like, or 6'4" or something like that. He's a tall guy.
6'3". Yeah, he's tall. He's 6'3".
He's average height for me then.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Rick definitely feels. Yeah, Rick's character. He kind of feels like a cross between Indiana Jones and Han Solo. A little.
That's
bit.
I like that comparison.
Ironically, they're both played by Harrison Ford. Both those.
Yeah, right.
characters. But the shit that's coming out of his mouth, I'm like, this is like Indiana Jones and Han Solo in one character.
He pulls it off fantastically.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm not unabashedly a fan of Brendan Fraser in this film.
Yeah, I wrote that they asked Harrison Ford to be the lead first.
Yeah, right.
Before they casted him. I don't know.
Do you know what? If they did that, that would have killed this movie.
It probably would, yeah.
It might have commercially done well, but it would just everyone would just gone, no.
So we're gonna cut to a bar, and a fat British bloke is rambling on about how he's the last of the Royal Air Corps.
Is that me? Is that a dig?
No,
You having a fucking dig?
you having a laugh.
You fucking Yankee twat.
No, I'm trying to emphasize. You do it better than me, obviously, but I'm trying to emphasize that he's one of those proper pompous.
Oh, are you talking about me, Lord
Yeah.
Conroy?
I was the last of the. I was the last of the Royal Air Corps, still stationed out here. You know, he talks like
Yours is good. If I try to do that, I'm going to insult an entire.
No, mine's. I got that
I'm
Mary
gonna-
Poppins accent, man. It's terrible.
Yeah.
Do you know? No, you don't. Right, the Mary Poppins is bad. Right, if you do Mary Poppins, I will.
Yeah, but even then, Craig, it's still like not much better if you say, "Well, it's better than the Mary Poppins one." That's not a compliment because it's so bad.
No.
Fair statement. Very fair.
No, it's actually good. What I'm saying is, every other American it does the Mary Poppins and the Mary.
Oh,
Poppins,
yeah.
Like, right. The problem, right? I actually thought about if this would come up earlier, because of the accents. The problem British people have with the American British accent is
Remember, you're speaking for all British people right now, Craig.
I will die on this hill. It's Dick Van Dyke, who's an American, doing a terrible Cockney British accent, which is not correct. So every American is doing a British accent, which is a copy of a bad American doing a British accent.
Yeah,
It's-
I've heard that before, actually. Yeah.
and it's like Howdy, I'm from America. I'm from New York. Yay, woohoo, boo, boo. Like,
Yeah, it's pretty
that
bad.
level.
Yeah.
That is how cringe it is to us.
Yeah, that's horrible.
Yeah. So yeah, Quinn, imagine if you hear like, "Hey, I'm from down the street in Brooklyn, and we're gonna go to the rodeo." You'd be like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, I'd
Yeah,
turn
but-
off whatever the fuck I'd be watching right about then.
Yeah. Kills all credibility. He's absolutely right on that.
Like just, hey, I'm Irish.
Yeah.
Fucking what?
Yeah, you feel like,
Really?
what the fuck is this? You're right.
What part are you from? Fucking hell.
Yeah. So this hefty British Air Force guy, he looks at the ground and he says, "Some bloody idiot spilled his drink." And
That's real. Back then, they'd say that. Yeah.
yeah. So we have American stereotypes, British stereotypes. It's
Got them all.
We got them all.
We all got done dirty. This film did us all done dirty, and that's why it works.
Yeah.
Equal amount of shit.
Equal opportunity offender.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone, and thank you for that.
Yeah. So this guy bumps into Rick, who says hello, Winston, and I wrote, "Of course his name's Winston." Of course it fucking is. God damn it, a British guy named Winston. It is now Rick, John, and Winston is reminiscing about the Great War. So this is where I figured out it's sometime after World War One.
Yeah.
But you guys said it was 1923.
Yep.
So that's good. He then leaves them at the bar, and the remaining Americans join them. And they announce that they are leaving because they are scared of the mummy. Cut to the American who had his eyes and tongue removed. And he's actually speaking with Imhotep and Benny now, or at least
Not
trying
knowing.
to. Because it's
Apparently
hard
he has
to.
no idea that it's Imhotep in this
Yeah.
scene.
Well, he doesn't have eyes or a tongue, so it's
But he's
pretty
got
rough
silk
right now.
pajamas. What? Silk pajamas. Who dressed this guy?
I thought it was some kind of like black, creepy Egyptian garb or something.
No.
with, like, black mask.
The guy without the tongue. He was dressed
Oh.
in silk pajamas.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
he's got like green, green dress robes on. It's like,
Yeah, and for some reason, he
hell,
like
eh?
thinks that he's talking to some prince that Benny had told him that is now magically here.
Yeah. So
you need to take all your clothes off. And I went German there. Whoops.
It sounded like a scene from Human Centipede.
Yeah.
Yes,
Favorite movie.
Favorite movie.
Favorite movie.
It's an interesting one to say the least.
It's our next episode. Yeah, he has like these green robes on. I'm thinking, who dressed you? Like,
Yeah.
that there's a choice there. You got undressed and dressed, and that is how you turned out. You got green robes on.
I mean, he can't see, so
The clothes aren't the problem.
yeah.
That is not the issue. I'm pretty sure he's like, oh, silk. This is actually quite nice.
Like that feels nice.
Yeah.
That feels real nice.
They don't have silk pajamas in Texas.
In Tallahassee, where I come from.
Yeah. They were made in Chattanooga, Tennessee. Benny says Prince Imhotep thanks him for his eyes and tongue, but more is needed. As the American starts freaking out, Benny says the prince must finish the job, and Imhotep reveals his face behind the mask. And for some reason, in my opinion, the CGI got worse in this particular reveal. He didn't look too good in this one. The CGI looked pretty fucked up, but I think it was because it was just a couple seconds of a reveal, and maybe they didn't spend enough time on it. I don't know.
It was daylight.
Maybe it was it could have been the daylight too.
Spot.
Now back to
you can't mask it with.
Yeah. So back to the bar where Rick and John are drinking with one of the Americans. They spit out their drinks, and it is revealed that every liquid around them has turned to blood. Rick then proclaims that the mummy is here. He must be here since all the water's turned into blood. Cut to Evelyn walking and reading a book. Rick comes running in and yells, "Oh, Evelyn! We've got problems!" All of a sudden, the lightning strikes and the skies turn dark, and flaming fuck all starts falling everywhere in
Meteors.
Cairo. I wrote, I'm sorry, did we change this movie to Armageddon? The movie Armageddon. Because the fucking meteors are like flying out of the sky. People are literally getting hit with these things too. There's like one of these soldier guys gets fucking crushed by one of these things. So they're falling all around. Benny runs into Rick and draws his gun and runs upstairs because he hears Imhotep roaring. Once in there, they see the corpse of the American with hardly anything on it. Imhotep took care of that guy. So he finally got the rest of his flesh, if you will. Rick starts shooting at Imhotep, who is by the fireplace and is regenerating after he swallowed the rest of the American guy's flesh. The CGI looks a little bit better in this scene, so I think that one throwaway scene of his face reveal, I think they just didn't. So they were like, since it's only 1 or 2 seconds, it's not that important.
It can be shit.
Yeah, it can be shit. Who cares?
PS1 level.
Yeah. So Rick says, we are in serious trouble now. Imhotep starts walking towards Rick. Rick is shooting both guns, but they do nothing. He then yeets... Imhotep then yeets Rick into the guys in the doorway. Then proceeds... Yeah, lots of yeets. This time, Rick actually gets yeeted, so he's not doing the yeeting this time. Then Imhotep then proceeds to have another conversation about Evelyn, about her being the princess that he loves. A
fucking cat on a piano.
A cat then jumps onto the piano, hits some notes, and that prompts Imhotep to go crazy, and he turns into a sand tornado and leaves the premises. Rick then gets up and says, we are in very serious trouble. Now our heroes are led by Evelyn, who is taking them to see Dr. Bay. When they arrive, the leader of the Magi, with his face tattoos, is already there. They draw guns on them. It turns out Dr. Bay is part of this society that guards the city of the dead, so he was just lying before when he said that the city of dead was just a myth.
And burns the map.
Unknowingly.
It's a confusing thing. So he's part of this group.
Mm-hmm.
So the guy with the face tattoos would indicate, what he says indicates he's Muslim, but the guy with the hat from the librarian would indicate he's Jewish.
I think it's just an order. I mean, cults have different races.
I wrote down that there could be something else going on because both of these characters actually have the same last name, Bay. So I wrote that it could be a father-son thing. But even though they never make any indications about that.
Interesting.
We never get to hear the Magi's, the main Magi guy, though. We never get to hear his name.
Not in the entire movie?
I don't think so. Not that I could remember.
Interesting.
Not that I can remember either.
I kept waiting for them to say his name because I have his name written down from the credits when I went through the cast.
Yeah.
But I never hear them say his name in the entire movie. At least not that I can remember.
Interesting.
I'd be willing to believe that because I've very, very briefly spoken to scriptwriters, and they'll usually have like a backstory. For every character who's going to be of any significance, they'll have a backstory written.
Yeah.
So from that, if something happens where that character needs to be part of the plot story, they've got the backstory to then go from. So this is this is the lore about this character. So I totally believe that. Yeah. So even if they didn't need to say his name for any reason, they've started in there. Yeah.
Yeah, it's possible.
He's in the second movie a lot too. He has way more screen time in the second movie.
Yes, he does.
Watching that. Spoilers, we are not watching that.
You haven't seen it?
I've seen it. That's why we're not watching it.
Oh, it's so much fun. Minus the CGI rock. That's that's a fun one.
That's the best part.
Yeah.
That's the reason why we're not watching it. Come on, we're doing classic movies. I said we're not watching the Scorpion King 2, and you two are getting upset. Come on.
What? The second Mummy's not terrible. It's just it has a very dodgy CGI scene.
Yeah.
I think Craig just hates The Rock. I think that's what's going on.
You hate The Rock?
Oh, right. Brian, this isn't March anymore. We're not on the lead up to WrestleMania.
Oh yeah. Well, we're getting there. It's almost January. We're getting close.
Yeah.
So it's going to start happening.
We go to Netflix. They can say whatever they want.
Yeah.
No. Goddamn, I love The Rock. But no, it's just not a good film. But I was actually trying to make a joke about saying it's not as good as this film or the previous.
Yeah, it's not as good as the first one, but I think it's still a fun movie.
It's still a fun movie.
Yeah.
But come on, the amount of films we've got to look forward to.
I don't know.
Oh,
I'd
yeah.
have to go back over the Mummy Returns just to see which one I like better, because I always like the Mummy Returns a little bit better.
Yeah.
But
The kid adds a lot to the second movie.
Yeah, he does. All right.
Not on the third one.
No.
I've never watched the third one.
Yeah, don't watch it.
Yeah, I don't plan to.
Fucking Jet Li as the Dragon Emperor.
Yeah. So, all right, let's continue here. The two bays, I'm calling them right now. They implied that they were willing to kill innocent people to stop Imhotep from doing what he does, which is apparently trying to destroy the world. Rick then puts a finger up, and I laughed when he said it this way. He goes, "Question." And he goes, "Why doesn't he like cats?" And Dr. Bay explains that the cats are guardians of the underworld, and he will fear them until he is regenerated. One of the Americans is doing his best Bill Paxton impression from Aliens when he says, "Yeah, you know how he got regenerated? From sucking our friends dry, man. That's what happened. Game over, man. Game over.
Game over." That is something we.
He sounded just like Bill Paxton. He's definitely channeling Bill Paxton from that. You know that guy's seen Aliens like fucking 50 times.
Game over, man.
Who hasn't seen Aliens 50 times?
Oh my God.
Well, hot take here. I like the Alien better. Aliens.
Aliens is the third one, right?
No, Aliens is the second one. The
Second
James
one.
Cameron one.
That's the one with the mom. She
With Newt.
plays mom. Yeah.
Yeah.
With Newt and the "Get away from her, you bitch."
Yep.
Yeah. With that line, one of the greatest lines.
Yeah, you still got to see Alien Romulus. That was awesome.
I do.
I've seen all of them except the last one, and I won't.
It's on Disney Plus if you have it for free. So give it a watch. It's worth it.
Mate, I've got everything for free. For God's sake.
That's true.
All right. So Evelyn then explains that Imhotep thinks she is Anaxunamun. This piques the interest of Dr. Bay and the Egyptian Magi leader. God, I'll never get that right. They say Imhotep will try to sacrifice Evelyn during a ritual. They also imply that they can use Evelyn as bait. And as they are talking, the sun is now being blocked by the moon, question mark, another planet, question
Some
mark,
sort of
a
eclipse.
giant tennis ball, question mark.
Yeah.
I don't know what the fuck went up there.
So I gotta ask. So if they would have just killed Imhotep and didn't do this curse to where he could come back to life, they cursed him, but basically like put in this thing so that way he would be able to come back to life in 1,000 years or so. I just find that so weird. If they would have just killed him, like ground up his body, none of this shit would be happening. I don't know. It's just one of those things where I was like, they put a curse on him that would allow him to come back to life.
I would think the curse would have something to do with his soul.
Yeah.
So you curse for thousands of years. So, but yeah, I mean, his body is like barely together. He has to reconstituent it.
It's got some juice to it still.
It's a good point, though.
He's juicy.
Nice and juicy.
Juicy.
So,
yeah.
So things can stick to it, and like you can stick stuff to that and regrow it. I think we're probably looking too deep into.
We are. It's a Hollywood fun action adventure movie.
Into a romp.
The eclipse thing, it went really fast though, but the thing that I did like about it is I wrote that it reminded me of a very similar but iconic shot from Blade Runner. Remember when Quentin hasn't seen the original, but Craig, you remember when Dr. Tyrell tells Rachel to turn on the shades in that big fucking room, and then that shadow starts coming over them. Yeah, and then you see a shot of the city. It's a cool shot.
It's just a visually beautiful film.
Visually amazing. Rick then asks for Evelyn to wait here while the three amigos go with him. They all refuse. Evelyn goes on a rant about how Rick spoke to her. He then picks her up and puts her in a bedroom and locks the door behind him.
Oh no, he chucks him over his shoulder and then flings on the
like
bed.
Tarzan.
That's that American
like a
damsel in
man.
distress. Like, I'm American. Do it. Do it, woman. Get in the room.
He then...
You know, I haven't said this yet. He's not American. He's Canadian.
Brendan
yeah,
Fraser?
I know.
Brendan Fraser.
Yeah, I know he was
Canadian.
Canadian.
I didn't know that. That's wild.
Yeah, he's Canadian. All this American yeehaw and the British and like, how are the British and Americans? How will they ever get on? How is this going to work?
He's never really had a Canadian accent, I feel like, though.
Most Canadians don't, I think. I've heard
Don't
a
they
lot
say
of Americans.
Some of them it's hard to notice, but like you'll catch a word here and there, and then some of them it's really noticeable because they sound like they're from Minnesota.
Yeah, we talked about this, I think.
Yeah,
Minnesota.
Basically, I think we did the same shit last fucking review. Yeah.
If they're from Minnesota, they're Canadians or they're American wrestlers. That's all you got.
Yeah. So he picks her up, locks her in the room, and he grabs one of the Americans and tells him that nobody comes into that room and she doesn't come out. Cut to the that British guy who was sleeping with the book earlier. He loves this Book of the Dead, but he's sneaking through the alleyways. Unbeknownst to him, Imhotep is sneaking behind him. So cut to Benny, who is looking through things in an office. Rick comes up upon him, and when Benny goes to run, I ended up losing my mind with laughter in this one. First off, Benny goes to run, and he isn't going to get anywhere because he's running to a wall with one window in it. So I hope this window is not high up, because if it is and he gets through it, he's falling to his death.
He gets a chair lobbed at his back, so it doesn't fucking matter.
Yeah, second, Brendan Fraser picks up a wooden chair and, like Nolan fucking Ryan, throws this fucking chair at 100 miles an hour into Benny's back. And I wrote, holy shit, he fucking killed him with a chair.
It looked like it, man. That shit had some force to it.
I'm pretty sure if this was real, it would have been the only recorded death of someone getting a chair thrown at them, because Brendan Fraser launches this thing like Elon Musk launches rockets into space. He fucking just totally launches this thing.
Dude,
like he's trying out for the Yankees in spring training, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Have you never watched ECW? The way they fucking throw chairs at each other.
I mean, I've seen clips of ECW.
He just yeeted that fucker at him. He did not care.
Dude, it was so hard.
The eating continues.
Yes, so he's not eating people anymore. He's eating chairs. I thought he killed Benny, but it's all it does is apparently knock Benny to the ground. If it hit me, it would have killed me.
But Benny survived a lot at this point.
If that shit was made of polystyrene, I'd have still gone down. The way he fucking threw that at him, I would be like, oh,
yeah, man.
I'd have face planted on that one.
Yeah, I guess on the set it must have been made of styrofoam or something, because he fucking throws that so fast. All right, so Rick picks him back up and starts grilling him about Imhotep. Rick then threatens to have his head smacked with a ceiling fan. He's like lifting him up to the ceiling fan up overhead. And that finally makes him talk about how the Book of the Dead is the thing that everyone is after. So the Book of the Dead is the key to stop this Imhotep guy. Outside, we hear a scream, and a large crowd parts to reveal Imhotep in his creepy black garb standing over someone he just sucked the flesh out of to regenerate some more. I'm assuming it was the British guy who used to have the Book of the Dead. He turns around and looks at Rick, and his face is like half complete at this point.
Looking the creepiest, and
it
looking
looks
even more juicy than before.
Yeah.
The corpse has got the hat on. It's the British guy.
Yeah. So now flies start flying out of his mouth, and they engulf this crowd that is freaking out. Imhotep uses his opportunity to escape. Cut next to the two Americans left who are arguing about bourbon. And I wrote, "That's very American." Well done.
Very.
One of them has one of the jars Imhotep is after. The one starts twirling his 6-shooter around like a good old cowboy. When he hears a noise at the window, he goes to investigate and gets launched by a burst of sand. So he gets yeeted by sand. He then gets picked up by the sand, but this shot is of the shadow. It shows a shadow of what's happening.
I love this shot.
I wrote down this was a very cool shot
Yeah.
for me because it leaves you to the imagination.
Mhm.
I love shots like that, man. So
that shot, it exactly for what you just said. It did give me Bram Stoker's Dracula vibes.
Yeah. Dracula vibes. That's I wouldn't have
No.
said that. I see what you're saying though.
Have you seen Bram Stoker's Dracula? Either of you?
Was it the original?
I've seen pieces of it. I've never watched it through. Beginning to end.
It will have like Gary Oldman will come down the stairs, but then it'll be like a 4-second delay, and then his shadow will follow him, and then the shadow will start doing.
That's been
stuff.
redone in a lot of other movies too. People have tried to
It's-
recreate that from the original that you're talking about.
It's Bram Stoker's. It's phenomenal. But yeah, I actually thought of that because like just the shadow doing all the artwork for you.
And then we can add
story.
We can add one to the yeet counter because as the body is decomposing and you see that shadow, it just flies to a different side of the wall. So another yeet in there.
Yeah, they got a few yeets in this movie. But I like touches like that. It's like Jaws or Alien. Like you don't really reveal too much of what happens, or you don't reveal the monster until the end.
Your imagination's going to do much
Yeah.
worse than what you can see.
Yeah. So anyway, now Imhotep is almost complete at this point. He only has a few spots left on his body to fill. Cut to Evelyn sleeping in the room she was locked in at the door. Imhotep has turned himself into sand and is seeping his way through the keyhole onto the floor of the bedroom. That was pretty creepy. He then reforms to approach Evelyn while she sleeps and kisses her. As he kisses her, his mouth starts degenerating back to the mummy form. Rick bursts in and says, "Hey, get your ugly face off her." Imhotep is mad and says something, but before he can go attack Rick says, "Look what I got," and pulls up a cat. That made me laugh.
The most angry cat in the world as well.
Yeah, Imhotep.
His cat is like,
Yeah.
fuck you, bitch.
It looks like the cat from that meme that was going around all the time.
Oh, the one that you said, the one that you created.
Yeah, I created one of those memes and sent it to you. Yeah, it's that.
Yeah.
It looks like that one. So the
Yeah,
cat
that's
hisses at him. Imhotep freaks out. I was laughing at this. Imhotep then turns back into a sand tornado and leaves through the window. Rick asks Evelyn if she was all right, and her brother John responds with, "Well, I'm not sure."
John, dude, he kills me.
Just
Like he's actually going to be asking about him.
That's the backlash for all the Yankee woohoo, pew pew, all that shit. The English person going, "Oh well, I'm not sure." Obviously, he's talking about Evelyn.
Yeah.
But you know, the British person being, and right, that guy is Scottish as fuck. That guy is up there with the Hound.
What, in real life?
Yeah,
Interesting.
he's unbelievably Scottish. But he's doing a brilliant English accent. And
It fooled me. I didn't know.
And the whole, "Oh yeah, I'm all right."
Yeah.
It's just that Britishness of like, "Oh, you're talking about me? You're asking if I'm all right, not my girlfriend. My sister. You want to bang so fucking obviously." That I think that is like the payoff for all the bloody Yanks, and that's the cultural payoff. Like that's where you get one back on us.
Oh yeah, I didn't think of it that way. thought it was just goofy.
was funny.
No, we call you bloody Yanks, and they went, "This guy is a pompous fucking idiot."
Yeah. Okay. Well, I thought he was just being goofy, but let's
No, that sort of. Oh, I am so oblivious to everything that's going on around me. That kind of thing is just like, oh.
Cut back to the museum where Evelyn is explaining to Rick that the book can probably send Imhotep back to death just as it brought him back to life. All of a sudden they hear chanting outside and a large crowd is gathering by torchlight chanting Imhotep's name. They apparently also made their faces look like mummies because what is going on with their faces here? Did you notice that? They all have like, they all have syphilis now.
Again.
We're back to syphilis. It comes up in every review. We've only done 3. Yeah. It comes up in every review.
Those emperors got around, man.
Fuck me.
Fuck you. Apparently, they fucked everyone.
Yeah.
Everyone.
Everyone has syphilis.
Syphilis.
All right, the Pharaoh. Well, not the Pharaoh. Yeah, the Pharaoh guard guy, the Magi.
Magi.
Yeah, Magi. Explains that Vagi. Put it in the Vagi. He explains that Imhotep has made them his slaves and is gathering them for his master plan. It then shows Imhotep leading them and doing exactly that. His jaw goes all the way to the. His jaw like almost goes all the way to the ground when he talks. That like long.
Yep.
Jaw look. Imhotep's slaves then march on the museum, so it looks like our heroes are in trouble now. Evelyn is reading a massive slab where apparently there is a golden book to go with the black book. So they need to go find the golden book. The doors burst open and Imhotep zombies start flooding in. Evelyn finally finds the golden book on the slab, and apparently it's in the statue of Horus.
Very convenient.
Yes, her brother John is on the street, and as Imhotep's goons approach, he stops and starts chanting Imhotep to trick them into thinking he's one of them. That made me laugh.
I actually thought it was really creatively funny.
Super funny.
Yeah.
All the comedy in this movie has hit well.
What do you need to like match in?
Yeah.
Right.
You know, I thought it was really funny. I thought the slab reading was like, I wouldn't think of this in that stressful. Like if that was real and I was in her place, but if Anubis is the god of death, and his book is the book of the dead, where's the book of life?
Well, isn't that the gold one?
Yeah.
Yeah, which is where it is. Like you need to look at it.
Well, is Horus the god of life though?
No, it would be Ra, and then I think Osiris is the god of death in Egyptian culture, no?
Well, Ra is the sun god, I thought.
Okay.
I don't know. They also, the thing about these gods is, though, they also take on different things. Like, they're not just one thing.
Yeah,
the ancient Greek gods, I'm going to use the Greek gods as reference because I know them better. Like, Poseidon, you think he's the god of the waters, but he's also the god of horses. And he's also the god of earthquakes.
Okay, so Osiris is the god of life, not death.
Yeah, so they probably have different aspects associated with them. Hades is the god of death in Greek mythology, but he's also the god of coinage.
Yep.
So when they mint coins, like you're basically practicing death, because it's Hades does that, you know. So it's you got to remember they usually take on. These deities usually take on different aspects.
Yeah, they get multiple roles. You know, they're taking multiple roles. They're getting their quids in, man.
Yeah, I also feel like they're like, all right, yeah, well, we don't have a god for this, so let's just throw that on Ra. You know, we'll just add that.
There's not much admin work.
There's too many. Yeah. We got to narrow this down.
Yeah.
There's not much admin work in it. You can do it on Thursday, Thursday afternoon when you're not busy.
Osiris only has 2. He can cover my. My divinely shift.
Yeah. So
you two need to see Hercules.
I love Hercules. Film. I love it.
Oh my god, it's my
it's the gospel. It's the gospel truth, bro.
It is the gospel truth.
God damn it! What a fucking Disney movie. He then gets into where are we at here? So,
Chanting Imhotep. John.
oh yeah, so John, John then gets into a fancy car, and as the other heroes gather to get him,
They scream.
Imhotep is in the window up top going. "Rah!"
Rah.
They then take
Roar.
off in the car, and as Rick threatens Benny that he's gonna get his eventually. Benny
For the
goes,
80th time.
"Oh, like I've never heard that before,
They
man."
have the best banter in this movie, dude. I love it.
It's
so
like
much.
7-year-old insults.
Literally.
The best banter, Jesus Christ, mate. Come, but I am going to save up and pay for you to come to England. Jesus.
Yeah, Imhotep's goons chase them down the street, but they will never catch up. They don't have to though, because one of the other streets is blocked off by more of these goons. Rick then drives right through them.
Oh, his windshield is covered in
Yeah,
syphilis.
bodies start flying everywhere. However, some of them manage to latch onto the car. There's an overhead shot of this where they're driving down the street pretty fast, and like they got like 10 people clinging to this one car on the outside, and it's actually a really cool shot, even though it's only like a split second, but it's actually really cool.
Well, it's an open top car. It's, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, the car is stylistically beautiful. Like,
It's a
yeah, it's
gorgeous car.
gorgeous.
Probably the nicest car in Cairo.
yeah,
Yeah.
as I say, obviously this is in Egypt. Is that an actual like classic car where you guys are from?
No, that car?
That car?
Yeah.
No, you'd never see any of them.
No.
Well, I see
mean,
that
like,
car. I think Cruella de Vil.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
there you
yeah.
go.
Exactly. Exactly. It's like sort of Rolls Royce Phantom.
Got to get in a Dalmatian print.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
But I thought the car. I thought the car was cool. Like, I know it's stupid, but
yeah. So we
sorry,
got
my point was nothing.
It's okay. It's a classic car. It's a cool looking car.
It's
I mean,
a
it is a
fucking
gorgeous
cool.
car.
Do you know what? I watched Cobra last night, the Sly Stallone film. I saw that his car on that. Fuck me, I do want that car. I'm not into muscle cars, not into anything like that. Cobra, his car. I want that car. I don't even know that was a car that existed except for that film. But,
yeah.
I just every now like you just see a car and it's like, wow. I thought that car
Yeah,
was
yeah.
cool.
It stops you in your tracks of seeing a car like that, definitely. Especially if you saw one in
Absolutely.
person now.
Oh, that was so
yeah.
tracks you saw that now. Jesus.
Yeah. Rick starts punching a bunch of these guys off of the car. Evelyn even fingers one of them in the eye.
Yo,
off the car. Did you see that
that
one?
was what? The
Fucking
wording
hell,
on that was
Brian.
crazy, Ryan. Evelyn just starts fingering one.
Brian, did you have that written
She
down?
fingers one.
Perfectly.
Yes, I have it written down. I said
Perfectly.
she fingers one of them in the eye. Yeah.
No, did you put fingers ... purposely?
I didn't put the ... but I did put fingers in there
It was
first.
implied. It had to have been implied. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
What? I'm not crazy. She actually takes her finger and goes, meh, right in his eye.
Meh. What is she a 1950s detective? Yeah, she meh.
It just caught me off guard. 'cause,
I'm gonna
like,
finger
just-
in the
That's
eye.
19
It just says,
Hey,
then
first
Evelyn
of all-
sees one of the guys and fingers him.
First of all,
In
that's
the eye.
1920s, Craig, which would be appropriate for the time because we're in 1923. So if she went up and fingered this guy in the eye and went, meh, it would be period appropriate.
Well, she'd be doing a little.
Holy
star
shit.
dance, like, you know.
Meh, I'm gonna finger in the eye. Say meh.
Hello, mommy. Hello, my daddy. Meh.
And it works because this guy gets yeeted off by a finger in the eye.
Yeah,
I lost my mind at the sound it made too. It's just fucking funny.
Some
Uh,
Three Stooges. Boink.
Yeah. The one remaining American gets thrown off the car and he shoots a bunch of these goons before he runs out of bullets. And they just stare at him from this point. So they're staring him down. Imhotep then arrives to take his life. And guess what, everyone? Imhotep is finally complete after this one. So he is ready
Big Daddy
to
shit.
do what he
That was his last
he
level
was
boss.
made to do. He is, he's leveled up for the final time.
End the game, boss.
Back to our heroes where the car crashes. They get out on foot and are quickly surrounded by the goons. Imhotep arrives and finally he has a normal voice now. I don't know. Yeah, he finally speaks in like his normal voice other than being like, you know. Anyway, I'll move on. He then speaks and uses
quickly.
He then speaks and uses Benny. I don't know how that language sounds. The ancient. What is he speaking to? Like some kind of ancient Egyptian language, or is that what
It
it's
has
called?
to be.
Ancient Egyptian.
Ancient Egyptian Arabic.
Okay.
And I'll leave it all to you, mate.
Good. He then speaks and uses Benny as his official translator now. Imhotep wants Evelyn, aka his princess, to come with him finally. She even corrects Benny's translation for him, which I thought was funny. Imhotep says if she goes with him, he will spare her friends. Evelyn then decides to go with him for now, but says if Rick doesn't think of something, he's the first one she's coming after. Imhotep turns her into a mummy, which is pretty funny. Rick then...
I like that. I like that sort of development. And like, I'm completely falling for you. Fucking save me. Like, I know you feel it. Like, I know you feel it too.
The passion was there, literally getting held back by the Magi.
I'm leaving with him because you better come and save me because I love you. I think you love me too. I actually like that.
Either that or they already kissed, and now that he looks human, she's like, give him a shot. He's got power.
Dude, right? Look.
Maybe she's just thinking, I need a good fuck after this.
Yeah, it's too stressful.
Right.
Relieve some of that stress. Get her some mummy dick.
Right, dude, look at that. Right. Brian,
Craig is all like, oh, it's love in the air, and we're like, nah, mummy dick.
Nah.
No, seriously, though, the chemistry...
That mummy is fucking 1 year older than you. Get a load of him. He looks like he could be my dad. And he's 1 year older than you.
Wait, what?
You think he looks that old?
I don't think he looks old at all. He's like kind of ripped. He's like kind of ripped.
Is that just because he's got like lipstick on or something?
He does. There's a very.
I don't know.
He's got some powerful lipstick on.
He looks kind of feminine in some scenes. I'll be honest, but that's my little 2 cents there.
So yeah, Rick protests when she leaves with Imhotep, and there's another loving stare between them. Rick then looks at Imhotep and says, "I'll be seeing you again." And Imhotep.
I lost my dad.
There is going to be an emo team later.
I'm gonna cut myself.
So Imhotep then hits him with one of the greatest villain smiles I've ever seen. It's like perfect.
It is.
It's so evil. Benny takes the key from John. As Imhotep escorts Evelyn away, Evelyn starts protesting. Like, dude, you just agreed to go with him. Like, calm the fuck down. Rick then opens a manhole cover and our heroes start escaping through there. Dr. Bay allows them to escape by sacrificing himself in the process to the Imhotep zombies, to the emo team.
The emo team.
Yeah. So he gets beaten up by the emo team. So he's a dead man. He's a goner now. No more Dr. Bay. By the way, Craig, you have to see Stargate at some point. I'm going to say that again.
I was talking about it earlier. I've seen it.
I have.
Oh, I meant to say Quinn. Sorry.
Yeah.
I was actually talking to Quinn. I'm sorry. I said
Stargate. I'll watch it tomorrow.
Yeah. You fucking better.
I will.
All right. Cut to daytime where another fancy car with our heroes drives to that British Royal Air Corps guy. Remember? Oh, I'm so fancy. He's got one of those World War I era planes sitting there. It looks pretty cool.
I'm Mr. Winston.
Mr. Winston, that's right.
Yeah. Mr. Winston, I will take you up in the air, and I might die doing it. Let's go. Tally ho. Hip hip. Toot toot.
Hip hip hooray.
He kind of reminds me of who's the Sonic enemy?
Dr. Robotnik?
Yeah.
Oh shit! He's a good Dr. Robotnik, dude. Fuck off. He's exactly what that guy is. Except he's driving Tails' plane.
Yes, there you go.
He stole Tails' plane and just pretended to be a hero. Holy shit! Yeah,
That's how he survived. It was looking for blue fucking squirrels or hedgehog.
oh my god! Yo, this guy is so Dr. Robot. Dude, Dr. Robotics, and fuck this. I'm tired of chasing Sonic around. I'm gonna steal Tails' plane and become a fucking good Samaritan.
And you got the guys on this scene. You got the guys strapped on the wings. What the fuck? I'm mental. I have pets. And
Yeah.
all the other dumb shit I've done. Strap me to the wing of an aeroplane, like a propeller aeroplane. You.
I would just need a lot
of.
of drugs before making that decision. That's all.
I would need a lot of drugs.
Dude, that's funny you mentioned that. Go ahead.
Wow.
I'd need to spend it all first and drink and take all those drugs first.
Yeah.
Dude, Craig, you said it. I mean, Quentin, you said that you'd have to take a lot of drugs for it to happen.
100%.
I wrote the next sentence says the Magi leader looks like he's on crack trying to hang on to this plane.
Yes. Yes.
He's got that headgear on it. He just looks like he's cracked out.
He's absolutely fucking smacked out his fucking.
He's having the best time of his life. He just went from riding on a
absolutely-
camel for most of his life to now hanging on to dear life on the wing of a fucking World War I plane.
Yeah.
That fucking guy is coked out of his bin. He is
For sure.
fucking on the edge of that plane, just fucking right
Yeah,
for
man.
life. He is loving that shit.
All right, we're gonna cut
Oh my god.
We're going to cut to a faraway shot, and a massive sand tornado is chasing them. Winston doesn't seem too worried about it. The tornado then throws up Evelyn and Benny, and it looks like they're in the middle of the desert yet again. The tornado gets smaller and smaller until it forms into Imhotep, who is now barely clothed and walking like the Terminator.
Yes.
He's
That's
walks
great.
right
That's
past
actually
them,
funny.
barely clothed and like the Terminator. It was kind of funny. Evelyn then realizes we're back at the city of the dead. Overhead, our heroes fly over, and Rachel smiles and says, O'Connell, and flutters her eyes.
O'Connell.
Imhotep, he'd know like this. No. Imhotep then causes cracks in the earth and makes a massive sandstorm, and sends it directly after Winston and our heroes in the plane. I bet this. I wrote down here. I said I bet this CGI used to be cool, but now that I've seen the new Dune movies, it's not as impressive anymore.
No.
Because the Dune movies
Back in
make
the day,
sand just so much better.
Yeah.
You know.
The new
Back
Dune
in the
movies
day.
are also.
I
mean,
bet at
like
the time
24
this
years
was like
later.
amazing though.
Oh yeah, for sure.
This was the apex. Back in the day, this was like
Yeah.
holy shit.
Big
how good it is.
blockbuster, $80 million budget. This is what they were able to pull out then.
Mm-hmm. But you
And
compare them to
that's-
the Dune movies now, and it's like night and day.
No, Dune is just perfectly shot, and this cinematography, yeah, it's all you can't even compare the two, in my opinion. But
Yeah. At the front of the sandstorm, a massive face appears, and then it cuts to Imhotep smiling again. So he's controlling the sandstorm, but he has the audacity to put his own face in the sandstorm, going. So Rick in the back of the plane now, he's got the headgear on too. He decides that this sandstorm can now be killed with a 50 caliber machine gun from the back of the plane. So he just starts opens fire, and this machine gun is doing nothing to the sandstorm. It is not helping one bit.
mm-mm.
Imhotep then makes a face, and his sandstorm swallows the plane whole. Evelyn then kisses Imhotep to distract him from his sandstorm work here. And it works, because the sandstorm dissipates, but the damage has already been done. The plane is fuming, and it crash lands into the sand. Benny praises Imhotep while simultaneously talking shit about Rick, which was kind of funny. Our heroes are getting out of the plane that crashed. Rick goes to get Winston, but it appears that Winston has died. And it actually fulfills his... he's one of those characters that wants to go out in a blaze of glory.
Hell yeah,
And
no other
he
way
does,
to go
he
out.
does that.
Yeah,
He does that, so he did his job. Then quicksand starts swallowing up the plane, dragging Winston down with it to his new sandy grave. Rick gives him a salute before they go off to finish their task. The the Magi leader has taken the machine gun off the back
That
of the plane.
scene, and he
Takes
just
it
looks
with
at it
him.
like, hell yeah.
He's like, I like this. I think
Yep.
I'll keep it. So we may see him using that soon. Imhotep takes Evelyn and Benny deeper into the city of the dead. Rick, John, and the Magi leader are trying to dig their way into the city while John grabs one of those blue beetles that killed Omid Jalili earlier. He grabs it out of the wall. Of course, a live beetle busts out of this thing and immediately goes inside of John's hand. Before it goes too far to do more damage, though, Rick takes this his butterfly knife and starts flipping it out, and then sticks it into John to tear the beetle out of him. That's gotta fucking hurt.
That whole scene wigged me out.
Yeah, that's gotta really hurt. The beetle tries to come back and attack, but Rick shoots it dead. That made me laugh. He shoots the
way he
beetle
does
on
it,
the ground.
standing over it. I like the shot that they did there because they have it showing from the beetle's perspective on the floor, looking up at like Ed O'Connell with the gun. I just love that shot.
Yeah.
It seems pretty one-on-one though. Like all you got to do is just dodge the button. Just if you're that quick, just move to the side. You can do that. And all you got to do is get to them, and then like you just get in their. You can just get in their shoes. And then once you're in the shoes, like what are they going to do unless someone's going to stab them out here?
If these beetles could jump, they'd be fucked.
Oh my god! The movie would have ended in the first 10 minutes.
The beetles have just about everything but launching capabilities.
If they were Michael Jordan,
they can tear through a fucking leather boot, steel-toed shit that doesn't stop them. But jumping,
they have the speed. They have the speed of Usain Bolt, but they have the jumping ability of white men.
Let's not forget they have wings.
Yeah, they can just fly, right?
You say the jumping ability of white men.
Yeah,
chickens have wings.
That's true, but they can like glide on the. They can like flap and glide on the way down.
Yeah, they can.
Yeah,
so, I guess you're right.
On like Zelda games, you got. The only thing chicken wings are good for is Hooters or associated
food
references.
Make damn good food.
You could name pretty much any restaurant down where we live, and they have fucking wings.
Yeah, I'd be surprised if they didn't.
I've got wings in my freezer, mate.
Yeah.
They're British, so they're completely unseasoned, and
they're probably healthier, honestly.
No one. Oh, they're healthier, but they just taste like we have to just chuck shit on them.
Yeah,
like just put a load of seasoning on them to like go, God damn, this is good.
Yeah, so
which is basically what you do.
Yeah, so Imhotep then says something creepy to one of the walls, and the two cartouches in the wall come to life as mummies and bow to Imhotep. Imhotep commands them to kill the intruders and wake the others.
These guys are so badass.
Yeah, so cut to Rick and the others who have guns drawn. Rick shoots a mirror that illuminates the dark room to reveal a massive treasure. Everything in here is gold. Tombs, statues, you name it. It's all in there, and it's all in gold. As they're walking in, I actually wrote down, as if it was like the screenplay here, this 6 line exchange here. John says, "Can you see?" And Rick immediately says, "Yeah." John says, "Can you believe?" Rick says, "Yeah." John says, "Can we just?" Rick says, "No."
No.
Rick is like, "We got a job to do."
Damn thing. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So all of a sudden, a noise spooks them, and multiple mummies start popping out of the ground. They are Imhotep's priests. They're probably mummified versions of the gold guys in the opening scene. Rick goes, "All right then." And all three of our guys start spraying fuck all into these undead priests. Of course, they run out of ammo, so they have to run because it's not enough to stop them. And even then, Quentin, you probably think that the ammo was too much already. Because they shoot 100%. For a long time.
Yeah, I think just watching our Magi friend just enjoying that gun with everything in him. He's just got this face on. He's like mowing him down. He's like, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
But so real quick, something I wanted to point out. I think this movie it's got a nice mixture of CGI, but it also does some sick prosthetics. So like I liked seeing all of these mummies were just makeup and costumes. I thought that was so sick, and it had kind of added to that level of realism. that we just don't get a lot anymore. But I love that they did that, because when their heads are tweaking and they're moving all fucked up, like, it just adds to that level of horror, you know? I liked it a lot.
Late 90s, early 2000s CGI being replaced with realism. Who'd have thought that would have worked?
All right.
Right.
Am I right?
Absolutely. Abso-fucking-lutely, man. So Benny is sneaking around doing something. Evelyn is tied to a slab, which normally would be a good situation for any man.
God, right. I had it written down. Imhotep.
He knows what he's doing.
Oh, yeah.
But she realizes a rat is on her. So she leans over to get it off, and she turns into a mummified body that is on a slab next to her. And it freaks her out. Cut back to our heroes fleeing and still shooting the undead priests. Rick then lights a dynamite stick and throws it into the priests, which take them out. Or most of them, anyway. The ones in the immediate vicinity.
Finally got to see that dynamite in action.
Yeah, we finally got the stick of dynamite going off. Benny is now outside dragging some treasure to a camel. There are a lot of camels outside, poor guys, and a bunch of filthy animals outside. As Craig has here.
Filthy animal.
So more mummified priests surround Evelyn on the slab, and Imhotep approaches. So it's that ritual from the opening scene. He waves his hand over the dead mummy next to Evelyn and says, "Anaksu-Namun." So he is going to kill Evelyn and reawaken the real Anaksu-Namun in this ritual here. Now our guys are trying to pry open the bottom of the statue of Horus as more zombies approach, but the Pharaoh Guard guy is going to deal with them. Rick pulls out a slab with the golden book in it. The Magi guy then tells them to save the girl and kill the creature as he charges into the undead mummies. And I was like, oh, well, he's definitely dead. He just sacrificed himself. Rick goes to light another dynamite stick to blow open a hole in a wall. It looks like, yeah.
Yeah.
Magi guy's gone. Magi. I could never say that word right.
Magi.
I can't do it.
Magi. Yeah, think vag. Remember, think vagi, but magi.
Magi. Okay.
There you go.
Cut back to Imhotep sacrificing Evelyn and the pool with the shadow creature from the opening scene reappears to revive Anak. Her mummified body reawakens. Evelyn is scared shitless, but she gets even more scared because she looks in the other direction, and Imhotep has a golden sword over her, ready to sacrifice her to Anubis or whoever controls this crazy shit that's about to go down. John appears to interrupt this and shows up with his golden book, which Imhotep immediately recognizes.
The book Evelyn of Hamunaptra.
Yeah.
This is where you get your one back on British. Because, oh yes, it is fucking that. La-di-da. I didn't fucking know. I'm a stupid Brit. Fucking hell. That's how that film tracks for Brits.
Yeah.
Yanks is all yahoo, boo boo.
Yeah.
That's the counter equivalent.
Okay. Evelyn is yelling at him to open the book and find the inscription to kill Imhotep. John says it needs a key, and Evelyn says the keys are inside Imhotep's robes. Good luck getting that back, dude.
Hey, she could pull up, just try to get that kiss in there again. Just be like, "What's up, Imhotep? You want us to do this?"
Yeah,
that's what's gonna have to happen.
Let's go down to Miami.
As Imhotep goes to attack John, Rick comes out of nowhere to try and save Evelyn by using a sword against the undead priests. Rick starts slaying
out of nowhere.
Yeah, he starts slaying every mummy he can get his sword on. One of them, he chops its head off, but the mummy jiggles the head back and forth in his hands like hot potato. He's playing hot potato with his own head now, and as it's going back and forth in his hands, Rick then takes a Babe Ruth swing with the sword, and the head gets launched into the camera, mouth open. You know? I actually thought that was... It
was like a Zack Snyder shot.
It was like corny and cool at the same time. You know what I mean? So that made me laugh. Rick then shrugs and proclaims, "Mummies." But one of them on the ground grabs him before he can free Evelyn. This mummy tries to hold him down, while another one tries to crush him with a slab he found, I guess. And another mummy's detached hand is reaching for the sword Rick dropped. And when it grabs the sword, Rick grabs the hand that's holding the sword and swings the hand holding the sword to kill the zombie who's trying to kill him with the heavy slab. So it was actually pretty... That made me laugh, too. It's a funny action sequence there.
Oh, yeah.
That was funny. Inventive, and you would do it. But just take his knees out and...
Yeah.
Physics.
That whole fight felt like it was really well choreographed, like for the goofy sides of it. Like it needed to be goofy, but it was also just cool to see him chopping up mummies, heads and hands, cutting them in half. I thought it was so dope, dude.
Yeah. So John, go ahead.
I think the choreograph team on this film had so much fucking fun.
Oh,
They had all the freedom in the world, and they just absolutely rolled with it.
Mm-hmm.
And it shows, and it pays off for the better, because this is a stupid romp of a film. That's what you want, and that's what they give us. And I can't give them enough props. Like, absolutely love that kind of in this film, in this kind of film, and this kind of stuff. Love it.
Yeah.
Love it.
John is still trying to figure out how to read this spell from the Golden Book, and out comes a bunch of mummies that have armor this time. These guys have... We got upgraded mummy zombies here. Evelyn begs John to read the inscription before it's too late and gets ambushed by the mummy of Anaxunamun. Imhotep yells something which gets the armed mummies worked up. Rick yells at them, which prompts them to yell right back at him. That was funny. Where he's like, all three of them are like, with the long jaws. To this, Rick responds... and runs off. Mummy Anak is chasing Evelyn. Rick is running away from the armed mummies. These mummies can also climb walls. Freaking, they're like climbing on the side.
These are like World War Z zombie mummies.
Yeah.
Like, they don't
weird.
Like the laws of gravity don't apply to them. They can do what they want, and that is not the mummy that you want to get in the ring with. These things were horrifying growing up.
Yeah.
The spider zombies. Like, what?
Yeah.
This wasn't on the menu.
So Rick sword fights with multiple armed mummies while Evelyn tries to talk John through the spell in the Golden Book. As Rick is about to be killed by the armed mummies, John says a word in ancient Egyptian, and the mummies freeze into position. And then moments later withdraw their weapons from Rick's face. They had their weapons like so close on Rick's face.
Like the points,
they were
giving him a nice
starting
shave.
to go in. Nice little shave there. Yeah, you're right. So they were about to kill him. But Imhotep looks worried for the first time the whole movie because he looks like he's losing control here. So John's spell seems to have stopped Imhotep's goons momentarily. Imhotep starts yelling at the mummies to kill him, but they don't move. Now John says another word, and now the armed mummies go to attack Anaxunamun's mummy, and they appear to take her out. Pretty quick, too.
Oh, yeah.
Imhotep then grabs John, but Rick appears to save him by cutting Imhotep's arm off. Imhotep turns to Rick, grabs him, and throws him back, so another yeet session happens.
Another yeet session.
Yeah. Imhotep then screws his arm back in. Did you notice that? He doesn't just like pop it on.
Shit.
He screws it back in. And then goes after Rick some more. Evelyn and John work some more on the Golden Book. Imhotep says, "It's your turn," to Rick here, and he opens his mouth as if he's about to suck him dry. That didn't sound right at all.
Is there anything you want to talk about?
What was he doing? What was he doing?
He was trying to suck that man dry.
Yep.
His man flesh.
Yes.
Man
flesh isn't much better, bro.
What do you want to share with the class?
Like the orcs, I smell man flesh.
I see you smell. We haven't had fresh meat for days.
We haven't had fresh meat.
He's fresh.
What about their legs? They don't need those.
No, they don't need those. No, you got to do like me, Brian. You got to be fucking real. Brian, what about your legs? What about your third leg? I can
What
use
about
it.
third leg.
Yo, knock it off. That was actually creepy. I'm scared. I'm fucking
It's
scared.
crazy because I'm fully erect.
Oh.
Mate, you
No.
can't see.
No.
I've not got any pants on.
Oh my god.
The only thing keeping my microphone up is my penis and your
Oh.
voice. So
Good lord.
So what were you talking about? You talking about?
All right, so he sucks. He's getting ready to suck Rick dry. Evelyn then says some words from the book, and it appears this is the killer line right here because a ghost chariot comes out of the wall and goes right at Imhotep. It consumes him and then drags his soul away. But Imhotep is still in body form, is still around, and then he turns to attack Rick, who thrusts his sword into Imhotep's stomach. Evelyn then says he is mortal, and Imhotep, now bleeding, goes into the black pool and falls to his death and disappears into the black water. And Evelyn says death is only the beginning. Quoting what's... Those were inscripted on his coffin, right?
They were.
Yeah,
on the inside of it.
That's the end of Imhotep, the big villain. So we're going to cut to Benny trying to get away with a sack of treasure, and the walls start moving. Rick, Evelyn, and John go to escape. John drops the book, and Evelyn goes to retrieve it, but John and Rick grab her so they can leave. Benny doesn't make it, though, as he is trapped in the city. John contemplates taking some treasure, but Rick tells him no again. Benny gets trapped. Rick says goodbye to Benny. Kind of taunts him at the end there. Benny is still alive, but one of the flesh-eating scarabs appears until there is a big swarm of them, and then Benny is taken out.
The only thing that was saving him is the torch, and the light just starts to slowly go out.
Yeah, I did like that, yes.
Yeah. I like the suspense of them trying to get out of there while the walls are all closing. That was like my biggest fear when I was a kid watching this movie, the anxiety that I got of like just trying to squeeze out at that last second. That's the freakiest shit in this movie to me.
Yeah.
Have you seen Temple of Doom?
I have seen Temple of Doom, yeah.
Yeah, where they do that. Where the boom.
The ball?
No, that's the first one.
Okay.
Okay, Temple of Doom.
But they do the same thing with the wall.
Is the second one.
They do the same. They do the same thing with the wall, though.
The room comes down, but spikes come out of the room as well.
Yeah.
And is that not Temple of Doom?
I don't know.
I don't remember Temple of Doom. I try to block Temple of Doom out of my mind.
Is Raiders Lost Ark is the first one.
Raiders of the Lost Ark, they have moving walls with spikes coming out of them, though. So
one where the room.
That's like a classic adventuring, like exploring. There's going to be some of those booby traps in, kind of, yeah.
Yeah, but it's got the kid from the Goonies.
It's got to be Temple of Doom then.
Yeah, Temple of Doom. Yeah.
That's the only one where the kid, the Asian kid.
It's the one. Yeah, it's the one with not Nazis.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
it's not
Nazis. Temple of Doom. Yeah, the Temple of Doom.
Two Nazis. One with
they deal with don't they deal with like communist Chinese or something like that?
No. Well, in
the beginning, I think.
Communist Chinese.
I think in the beginning, yeah. All right. Well, anyway, so we're back with our heroes. They're still trying to escape outside, where the grounds around them are collapsing as they make a run for it. The Campbells you see in the backdrop, the place where the city was now looks like a nuclear explosion went off.
Mm-hmm.
Where they just were the city of the dead. It looks like a nuke. Got it. Just fucking giant sand smoke, whatever you want to call it, everywhere. Now a jump scare, and John is grabbed by the leader of the Magi, who has Magi.
Magi.
Okay, so he's grabbed by the Magi leader, and I wrote somehow he escaped with a question mark. He's on a camel and bids our heroes farewell and rides off into the desert. How did he survive that shit?
He's a gangster, man.
He must have some kind of magic going on.
That or the unlimited ammo glitch that he started.
Could be that.
What is that actor's age? the Magi guy.
I'll check it out real quic.
No, I said no. Just what do you think it is?
He's probably, he looks like his ethnicity or wherever he's from.
He probably looks my age. He looks like he's 35,
I would say
36.
35. I would say 35, maybe, I don't know. I'd say 35. But he could definitely be older and just looks really good for his age, you know?
He's 29.
Oh.
Holy fuck!
Oh, shit.
Dude,
Yeah, he's
I'm starting to
29.
feel really good about my looks.
Right? Holy shit.
I'll tell you what, right, Quentin, if you're Googling.
Yeah, I'm looking up most of their ages.
Oh, no. One I want you to go. If you want to cut this up, Brian, fair enough.
What?
Earthquake, SummerSlam 1990. Just Google image version and share it if you can.
I don't know if what, the Wikipedia?
Earthquake. Oh, I got it. Hold on. SummerSlam.
What are we looking for here?
1990.
Earthquake. So Earthquake's a wrestler. 1990 SummerSlam.
Oh, this
Okay.
is a great picture.
Right. Pull it up if you got it.
All right, hold on. Give me a second.
I cannot wait for your answers on this one.
Are you talking about age? Are we guessing age?
Well, let's just
Why is
see
it not showing up?
what Kingdom comes up with.
I don't know if I'm doing this right. Hold on. Share screen, and it's not coming up now. Why won't it come up? No, this is a fucking. No, I can't do it. It's not working. All right. Anyway,
So they're out of the place. They've escaped.
yeah. So after the Magi guy rides off into the desert, John says, "Well, I guess we go empty-handed again." Rick says, "I wouldn't say that," and turns to stare into Evelyn's eyes. You're damn right Rick is not going to be empty-handed. His hands are going to be full of Rachel Weisz ass for the rest of the night.
Yeah, baby.
They have a kiss, and now the three of them are on camels riding off into the
Damn
sunset
good kiss.
together. And we cut to black, and the mummy is over. That is the end of the movie.
They've got treasure on the back.
What?
The camera has a little glint of treasure. They've got on the back of the camel. They've got one of Benny's bags.
Yeah, Benny's golden bags.
They've got a bag of treasure in the back.
Yeah,
and
so they get to go home with all that
little
treasure.
glint of it on
Oh, I didn't notice that. Okay.
So that's how they have money. When
I didn't notice that. Good catch there. All right. Well, the mummy is over, and that was one heck of an adventure flick there.
That was
Some
fun.
good comedy in it. So we already know how Quentin's going to rate this movie, but I'm going to start with you anyway, Captain Quintano. What would you rate this movie and why?
I give it a 10. It's one of my few movies that is a 10 because I have just loved it. I watched it from a young age over and over, but being a kid and watching this, you got the action, you got the adventure, you got the hot library lady, you got everything that you need for it to be a blockbuster hit. I mean, there's a reason it got raked in 400 million. It was huge. It was a lot of fun.
Then.
Yeah, which is back then. So my God, I mean, it's not 1999. But it was just such a fun movie for me. And no matter how many times I have rewatched it over the years, I still I could pick little things here, the infinite ammo glitch that they run, some goofy things, but I think that it's all there on purpose. I think the writers and the directors wanted people to go in and have a great time watching this movie. And that's exactly what they did. They made it a blast to watch. Every character on screen, the chemistry between all of them. There wasn't a character I felt like that I saw that I didn't like. You know what I mean?
Yeah, everyone had a purpose, and
everyone had their own quirk.
And they filled their role.
Yeah, and they did it well. So 10 out of 10 for me. I am super biased, though. I've always loved this movie.
It's one of Captain Quintano's favorites, that's for sure. Craig, hit us with your rating here.
Okay, as a film, I'll give it a 7. As a personal enjoyment, I'll give it an 8.25. Because
That doesn't work. You need
Yeah,
a fucking rating, Craig.
Yeah,
You
we
need to have
one
an
rating.
official rating.
hang on, I thought this was a democracy, not a meritocracy. Fucking hell.
Yeah, but when you go to vote, you don't go, I kind of want to kill the guy, but I kind of want him to live.
Well,
Exactly.
you don't shoot him though. Oh, sorry, I forgot. You're American. Yeah, you do.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I'm just gonna go with what I feel about it. I fucking love it. It's 8.25. Right, Brendan Fraser has never been so charismatic, so perfectly fit a role. The only other role I could put him in is Firefly.
Yeah.
And I'm glad he didn't get it because Nathan Fillion kills that.
Nathan Fillion's great.
But God damn it, he is so charismatic. The chemistry between him and Rachel Weisz is fucking great.
Mm-hmm.
Like they look like they are just having fun, and it's palpable and believable. And that is kind of the crux of the story: is there will they, won't they? It's even though it's obviously it's about Egypt and finding these things. It's essentially it's built around this love story of them, and they are fucking fantastic together. Rachel Weisz is brilliant. Everybody who was cast plays their roles to a T. I fucking love this film.
All right.
I only don't give it higher marks because I've seen better films.
Fair.
That doesn't mean it's a lesser movie. It just means I've seen better films.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Craig is the first person on here to put a percentage here on our ratings. He went 8.25. So
Come on,
you're going to be the guy that breaks that. I will make a vow right now. As long as we do this channel, you will never see me put a quarter or a half or a 3/4 on anything.
You're gonna either
It's gonna be one solid number.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. I will abide to this rule.
No. It's my own rule. You guys, I don't care what you guys do.
Yourself.
I'm just saying. I'm just pointing out, Craig, that you're the one that broke the mold. I was waiting for one of you guys to do it.
I want to give it more, but right. If
I think that's a really fair rating. If I wasn't super biased, I probably if I'm how you said I'm reading it as a film and how much I enjoyed it. Like the enjoyment level is so high for me. That's why I put it at a 10 as an overall with the movie. I just love it.
Okay.
Yeah. How do I rate the Dark Knight High? If I give it a 10 out of 10, how do I rate the Dark
Remember,
Knight?
you can go Meltzer.
Meltzer.
I want Meltzer with this. We haven't got Meltzer.
I'm not going Meltzer.
Nobody's going Meltzer yet, though. Not even Quentin. This is one of Quentin's favorite movies too, and he didn't go Meltzer.
It's not Meltzer. It's not.
It's too late now. You submitted the 10. It's over.
Yeah, it's a 10. It's a 10. I feel like Meltzer for me though has to be a perfect movie. I agree. You know what I mean? Like that's where we'll get some Meltzers.
I agree. Or if it's not universally agreed to be a perfect movie, or
like the original
just feel
Mortal
that
Kombat.
way.
That's Meltzer.
No! Oh, please, no.
You've been looking up your wrestling history.
Yeah. All right, so I guess I'm the last one to put a rating on this. I gave it a 7. I had a lot of fun watching this movie. Is it the greatest movie in the world? No, it's fun. It does what it's supposed to do. You're supposed to have fun watching this action adventure movie that's got a lot of goofy humor in it. I think my one gripe with this movie is not that it should take itself more seriously. I think I would have appreciated this a little bit more if I felt from the characters that the stakes were a little higher than they were.
Like the world was ending.
Yes.
I could see that.
They really need to stress that this guy needs to be stopped. And I didn't really feel that all the time. Even when they were talking about stopping this guy, it was kind of like they were joking about it. You know what I mean? So I kind of felt like I was hoping they would stress that, you know, this guy needs to be stopped, like pretty much at all costs kind of thing. If that happened, I probably would have rated it higher at an 8.
Well,
It's not,
didn't
you
they
know.
in the one scene though where they're talking? So like O'Connell is in there with Rachel, and they're in the room, and he's like, "Fuck this, I'm getting out of town," and she's like, "No, we need to stay and help." So I feel like they focused on that a bit, but probably not as much to the extent that you wanted it to be.
Okay. Yeah,
Just
that's
defending a film that's a
No.
10 out of 10.
Yeah, I know. Dude, trust me. If I rated this a 5 or lower, Quinn would be like, "What the fuck?" No, but I had fun watching this movie.
impossible.
It's just
Yeah.
I
one
would
little.
say I'd boot up your ass if you gave this anything like that.
Yeah, no, not at all. Not at all. In
This
fact,
film, do you know what this film is? This film is, it's not Indiana Jones franchise, but it's a romp. It's a classic romp. It's got history. It's genuine history mixed up, but it's a romp, and it's architectural, and it's got the love story. The two characters just are absolutely golden together, and also it's what made everyone fall in love with Brendan Fraser.
Mm-hmm.
And if there's nothing else to be said, God damn it, Brendan Fraser, fucking thank you.
I honestly wish that he was the lead in more films because of rewatching this. And I know he did like a bunch of leads in like goofy stuff.
George of
but,
the Jungle.
Yeah, but I kind of wanted to see him in more leads at movies.
He got
this.
screwed. I mean,
More serious
literally,
movies, you know?
he literally got screwed, but like
He
also
literally
black.
and figuratively, like he.
But
Wait,
yeah.
you're a savage. You're a fucking savage, dude.
but he came back to Hollywood and won Best Actor of the Year, even after going through all that shit. The
Yes.
injuries
Yeah.
that had taken place.
And-
Almost. Oh, and I found, by the way, he literally had to get resurrected. By the way, on that hanging scene, he flatlined. He was dead. Yeah, I looked.
Really?
Yeah, so I would
That's
look
pretty
that
nuts.
up. But
I-
that's what I was just reading.
When I
a
was
minute.
researching this, I don't know if I read this right. Did he say, "I want to leave, I want to go home," or something like? I think I read a line.
I would after
You're
that.
talking about when he died? Yeah, I'd probably be
Yeah,
like, yeah,
he-
fuck this set. I've broken
I
my
wanna go
back.
home.
Yeah,
They
he
tried to
got
kill
so
me.
many Injuries, yeah.
It was I think it was Screen Rant, so to fucking take that with a salt mine.
Oh, they're awful.
Yeah. So, no, pinch just a fucking salt. That's what
I
it says,
blocked
salt
them
mine.
from my Google feed because I don't want to see any of their articles ever
I
again.
fucking crap. Do you know what? I'm so glad Ryan George does his movie pitches on his own channel now, because I can just block Screen Rant.
Yeah.
That's not what I'm here to talk about. No, I think I saw it when I was looking it up. I was just looking stuff up, and I think he said, "I want to leave," but he got talked into it. And God damn it, he is so charismatic. He's tall, jacked. He's handsome. He's a Canadian.
He's great.
My twin brother.
He's great.
American. And do you know what? And on Scrubs, God damn it, was he good on Scrubs? That's the only other thing. That
Oh my god! You know, Scrubs is like my favorite show of all time, right? Scrubs.
it was one. It's in my top 5.
Yeah, it's so
So-
great. Minus we don't talk about the last season, but
No, that didn't. What?
yeah. In
It's
Scrubs
crazy.
though, when
No,
he's
no, Dr. Cox. Dr.
Yeah.
Cox is the greatest TV character ever.
he's awesome.
Full
I
stop.
realized that when I was watching Scrubs, I started
Greatest
like,
TV character ever. Sorry. That title belongs
Go on.
to
Walter White,
no. No, I'm thinking of The Wire.
Tyrion Lannister.
Dorothy, Golden Girls
No, I'm
has to
thinking
be.
of The Wire.
Who-
Omar coming, yo.
Omar's
that's
coming.
not what Sydney Sweeney said.
Have you either of you guys seen The Wire?
I haven't. I've heard.
I
so
haven't.
many
Oh, well
great
then I'm
things
talking
about
to a
You-
fucking wall here. Of course.
You've talked about it loads. You've talked
Omar
about it.
coming, yo. This guy literally fucking all he does for a living is rob drug dealers. It's the
That
greatest.
sounds. I mean, it's crazy, critically acclaimed, right? It's won some golden or whatever.
Yeah,
things are.
it gets referenced probably more than any other show by
Yeah, but
TV television
be
show
fair, Brian,
makers
you
and
love
You
it
see who the
because
cast
directors.
is. Oh,
you love
he's
it
great.
because it's
Michael Kenneth.
Yeah,
He is
I'm a little
fantastic.
biased, but still, it's like, you know,
You got Idris Elba, Lance, R.I.P.
it's
Lance
the
Reddick.
show. It's
Reddick.
the show that made Idris Elba. Yeah, and Lance Reddick. It's
R.I.P.
Lance Reddick's greatest role ever as Lieutenant Daniels.
Nah, bro,
But-
Destiny.
Nah, this is better. Trust me.
No, the show,
Captain.
the video game Destiny. He voices a character. And
Oh, fuck that. Anything that he's done, this is better.
Yeah,
Captain.
I'll watch it.
He's an
Oh,
intimidating. Lance
I mean,
Reddick
he's
is an
better.
intimidating motherfucker in The Wire. He's a lieutenant in the police force.
His
And-
voice is just so powerful, dude.
Oh yeah.
Captain Quentin. Do you know that he's actually British?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah. I think he did this really shitty Resident Evil show that came out on Netflix like 3 or 4 years ago, and he played in it. But I'm pretty sure he had an English accent in it, and it sounded supernatural.
No, yeah, he's British as fuck.
Yeah.
But most American, if they've only seen him on The Wire, they haven't got a clue that he's actually, he's completely a Brit. They think he's, full-blooded American.
Well,
Hey guys, we got another rating we got to get through here.
Muppet meter.
The Muppet meter.
Muppet meat on this.
I'll start it off here. I'll put it at an 80 because there's
Okay.
which is kind of high. Yeah, it is pretty high because there's some raw wild shit going on. I probably would have put it at like a 70, but that one scene alone where it looks like Armageddon and just throwing fuck alls into the town.
Yeah.
And then when you come back to the town, it looks fine.
yep.
I was like, that's ridiculous. That was
Right.
the one scene where I was like kind of put off. I was like, this is ridiculous.
I think they maybe had
Yeah.
started it and they made the CGI for it, and then they were like, "Wait, now we have to spend all this money to keep the city looking like it's just been obliterated by fucking meteoroids." Like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
That was
so
weird,
I-
though. I'm
So I'm at an 80 out of
that's the thing
100.
that got you when there's a fucking sandstorm and his face comes out of it in sand and swallows.
that was a dope scene. I love that scene.
Yeah, but he's actually,
is that from Mummification?
he's like, yeah, but he's like actually, I bought that because he's actually involved in the spell that created that
Yeah.
sandstorm. You know, he's not involved in actually throwing. He's
Yeah,
not
that
up in the
doesn't
clouds throwing
That
down
doesn't
the.
exist, though.
Well, yeah, but it's
He's
know
a magical thousand.
you're buying into what's going on. I'm
Yeah.
not buying into the whole Armageddon fucking thing. That was
Oh,
ridiculous.
you're going to tell me fucking Jesus didn't die on a cross now? You can't deal with this.
Why are you getting so upset about this?
I'm not. I'm just pissing around.
Now, if Imhotep was up in the clouds throwing fuck alls at people,
Yeah.
if he was actually throwing fuck all at people down to the ground, then maybe it
Oh,
would have
that'd
been a little
be
less.
weird.
His powers were
That would
like
be
ridiculous.
Disney
Stone.
Hercules.
they showed his
I
power.
fucking
He
love
was
it.
like really overpowered for like that, halfway point in the movie, and then once he's fully rejuvenated, his powers are kind of just shit. I don't know if he just gets cocky and thinks that he just wants to yeet people everywhere, but he just stopped using all of his like
He was
godly
better as a skeleton.
abilities.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
Craig, what do you put
Flying.
it on the Muppet meter?
We had a Royal Rumble in this. We had a sand face eating planes. We had fuck all coming down from the sky.
He's gonna rate it high as fuck.
We had
He's going off. He's ranting, dude.
we had Rachel Weisz standing on a ladder, fucking managing to keep it up and not fall fucking anywhere while she's trying to put her butt back. This film was fucking amazing. for all the best reasons. I'll give it 79.9.
The fuck, Greg? What
He's
the
going
fuck?
with a fucking percentage again.
You
Now
gave me.
your thing
Wait a
is,
minute.
Craig, is
Yeah.
that you have to always give a point now. This is your
Oh,
thing.
I will fucking die by a rule.
Oh my god, that's gonna piss me off.
Yeah,
There are some films that-
79.89.
I will get to films where it's like 9.999999999. This film is fucking stupid as shit, and I can't wait to review that film.
Yeah. Quentin, what would you put it on the Muppet meter, my man?
7. I give it a 7. I don't think it was crazy.
No, it's out of 100. You mean 70?
70. Sorry, yeah, 70.
Okay.
I give it a 70% of the Muppet Reader. You had the unlimited ammunition, but I feel like that's all those movies that were either coming out in the early 2000s or late 90s. People could just never had to reload. They would pop that shit off. I mean, God, look at the Matrix. Granted, Matrix, but you know, the movie didn't take itself super serious, and I think that it kind of allows them to have these goofy moments, and I'd be pissed off if they weren't in there. I'm so happy that goofy shit was in there, because honestly, I just feel like it makes the film what it is, and it makes the reasons why I love it so much. I don't think it was super outlandish. The what?
I agree with you 1,000% there. Didn't take itself seriously, and it's what people wanted.
Yeah. But I mean, that makes the Muppet Reader go up. I didn't think that it was crazy. Like, I felt like if a movie is like crazy, like Batman, I think I don't know what I gave the Muppet Meter on that, but like there were scenes that were so out there that it took me out of the movie, and like I didn't get that from this. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So yeah, I'll stick with a 70.
All right. So 70, 79.98, and an 8.
We never mentioned the black goo. The black goo. What the fuck is that?
That's what seeing looks
yeah,
like
I don't know
after
what that
you've been dead
was.
for 1,000 years.
Damn.
You might want to put some domestos in that, or something, just something to clear that up.
Asbestos cum. Is that what you're saying?
Domestos is bleach.
Oh, okay.
Just bleach.
I thought you
your
said
nut.
asbestos.
Asbestos. Oh, fucking no. Well, maybe put some asbestos in that. I don't think it will help matters.
Yeah.
Well, cheers, gentlemen.
All right. Well, that's our review of The Mummy. That is Quentin's pick for this week. Craig, you're going to have to pick it for this coming week. And then the following week, I think we should do a Christmas type film.
That was going to be my suggestion.
Yeah. We can do that the following week, though, but just a normal... Well, not saying normal film, but like film from an ancient.
Who wants a normal film?
Right.
Who
wants a normal film?
Gentlemen.
So it's gonna be your task this week to pick a movie for us to watch and review. But we can
go challenge.
Yeah, we can talk about that once we get off. But man, another 3 hour and 45 minute fucking.
We try to get it down too, but
we try to get it down, but we just suck at it.
Problem is, it was so much fun.
Yeah,
that's what it is.
Was so much fun.
I even tried to cut down on my notes, but I feel like I didn't. But
you
also,
definitely cut down. You didn't.
I feel like the pacing of this movie also, though, like. There was something going on like every 5 seconds. It was very fast paced. So in order to write all that down, it takes up a lot. And yeah, I was trying to cut down, and it felt like because of the style of the film that we were watching, I was just adding more.
Mm-hmm. So, even when I shut up, like you, and just let you go, there was just so much, and I was like, not even notes that I had. I was like, oh, there's so much I want to talk about, and all of us talked about it, and yeah. Sorry it's taken this long, but it was just so much fun doing this video. It really was. Fucking loved it.
Agreed.
Guys,
this is fun.
Fantastic.
Now we got to do is get some viewers.
The newer videos aren't doing too well, I've noticed, but...
Yeah, well, it's after... I mean, I figured we would get more from the Gladiator 2 review. 100%. because it's recent and it just came out, and 2, because that's when I was getting people from the King Boomer channel to come over and check it out. But I'll
That
throw
is
up
valid.
after this review, and I drop some sync videos to go with this one. I might start advertising it again.
Holy shit.
Because now people have reference points to
100%.
with the sync videos as well, because those are fun to edit as well. So
Yeah, the Gladiator review is up to 3,800 views. That jumped up.
yeah, it jumped up.
Holy shit.
I do think though that's the YouTube algorithm pushing it though
Yeah.
to get the watch time up, because YouTube honestly, like, once they see you're getting a little bit of traction, they try to like help you out and get your channel
That's pretty
to
nice.
get your channel monetized, because they want to. They're actually pretty good with helping small channels out, I've noticed, which is good. Once you hit 100K though, and I know this from experience, you see a drop off on your channel.
Really?
It's like
There you
it's
go.
basically YouTube now saying, "Well, you're on your own, buddy."
I mean, 100K though is still, I mean,
Yeah,
you know.
it's an achievement, but it comes with
Consequences.
consequences. It definitely does, because there was that first month after I hit 100K, it was like I got like half as much traffic on my channel. It was weird.
That is super strange.
Yeah, but it went back up again eventually.
Well, hopefully the people that stuck around, and there has been 1 or 2 I've seen on the comments that they do watch it, and it's fucking great. It's
Yeah.
and it's just such
Even
a
if we
good
have
hangout.
3 viewers, it's awesome. They're hanging out
Oh,
to listen to us bullshit about movies.
I'll tell you what. If you tell me next week, all we're gonna have is 3 viewers. Can't wait. Do it.
yeah.
Same.
Still just fun, man. That's what
so
it's
much
all.
fun.
I actually really enjoy. I get nervous about it, and I still really enjoy it.
Mhm.
It's a blast, man. I mean, you know, we've already said this, but it's like to find people that you can kind of chat with about movies or a movie for more than 10 minutes is hard. So to get a group of guys that we all love this shit. This is what we enjoy. I'm assuming we all had that similar experience with just letting movies be an escape. Not necessarily that we want to escape from everyday life, but it's that fucking imagination that a movie could take you to a different world. That J.R. Tolkien shit when you're reading or watching something and you were just checking out this whole different universe. Yep.
Yeah. So I picked the right 2 guys to do this with me. So thank you.
Oh, thanks for
again
bringing us
for-
in, man.
Joining
Dude,
me on this.
thank
It's been a
you.
pleasure.
I'm so glad I got the microphone and camera over this year.
Yeah, you
Like,
sound
we're
better.
getting gutty. We should do this off camera.
Yeah.
I'm gonna check out. I want to get a new mic. I think I'm gonna order one for Christmas. So text me whatever you ordered, Brian, if that's an easy setup and all that.
Text you the mic I got?
Not the mic. I'm sorry, the camera.
Oh, the camera. Okay.
Yeah,
Gotcha. Okay.
because I want something
All right.
that's 4K.
Well, let's wrap
Well,
this up.
it's my pick next week. So let's wrap
Yes.
this up.
Yeah, let's wrap this up and then we'll move on to next week, and you will know when it drops what Craig has picked for us in these reviews on Good Critic, Bad Critic here. So
Fucking hell, pressure's
I'm
on.
very interested to seeing what you pick, Craig. It'll be fun. So much love to
I wanna
everybody
pick a
who got
Christmas
this
film,
far.
so-
You want to do a Christmas film? We can do that the following week, because that will
I
actually
know,
line
I know.
up
So
right
now
before
I'm
Christmas.
Now I'm conflicted, but
Yeah.
I will come up with something.
You got
that-
some time. You got a week.
We got a
Yeah.
week. No, we
Yeah.
got 6 days, but yeah.
Back to normal
Uh,
schedule next week, right?
Yes.
Yeah, but
Okay.
that's behind the scenes stuff.
Yeah.
But anyone who's watched this to now, thank you so much from me, King Boomer, Captain Quintano. and all of us.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
All right.
God damn it, this was fun. This was so much fun.
This is 4 hours of your life that we're never giving back to you. I hope you enjoyed.
Yeah. That's right. All right. Much love, everybody. We will see
your
you.
life better.
Yeah. We will see you next time. All right. Peace out, everybody.